There we go. I am so sorry, guys. I changed the server, so hopefully it's stable now. I don't know. We're gonna give it a minute or two. But hello, everybody. Welcome to the new chatters as well. I just had to turn the stream on and off just to fix a stream issue because like my kilobytes per second was actually like awful. So it should be a little bit better now. Hopefully, I'm praying. I'm on my hands and knees right now, praying that it's gonna be okay. Like the one time I don't want to have stream issues when I'm talking to such an important guest. Hello, everybody. Give me a moment here. I'm getting everything set up. I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome. Also to everyone coming in from Midnight's community. Hello, everybody. Yeah, so originally okay, give me 1 second. 1 sec. I'm so sorry about that. I had to take my headset off for like just a second because I have this issue. I don't know if you guys have this, but I have this issue where if I put my headset on too fast after I turn it on, my lenses fog up. I think it's also just because I'm sweating because I'm a little nervous. But sorry, I had to take my headset off for that. Hello, let's see. Cosmic hello, Fia hello, and Hydration Redeem hello. That is a great name, by the way. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Also, thank you so much for the follows, guys. I'm going to try and keep up to date with them. I will say, if I don't catch your follow while we're in the middle of the interview, I do apologize. Because tonight, many of you are probably aware. I mean, we just posted about this, so I do apologize. I was originally not going to stream this. I was just going to record it, talking with Midnight. But they insisted that, you know, they were okay with it and they were comfortable with it. Because I didn't want to do it initially because I didn't know if they were comfortable with, you know, me streaming while we were chatting and stuff about bartending. And they said they were perfectly fine with it. So I was like, you know what? Sure, why not? It'll be great. So yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of a guerrilla stream a little bit here. So I do apologize if the stream quality here is a little bit less than it is over at Midnight's. I'm not as professional with streaming as they are. So I do apologize if everything is a little weird. I'm kind of an old man, so yeah. But tonight. So I'll go ahead and get you guys into my view in just a moment here. I'm turning on my full body trackers. I'll go ahead and introduce myself for all the new people because you guys probably want to know who I am. Who's this random guy who's interviewing our favorite streamer? Who is this bozo? You know what I mean? It's okay if you don't know who I am. I understand. I don't advertise, so no one knows who I am. Nobody cared who I was until I put on the apron. Is what I would say. So, you guys' emotes are great. Yeah. So give me a second. I got all my full body trackers on. I am currently legged, ready to go. I gotta get the camera set up for you guys. This, like I say, kind of a guerrilla stream here, so I do apologize for the scuff. So let's get you guys on the camera so you can see your beautiful, beautiful innkeeper. That is what I am. Okay, there we go. Oh, wow, this is going to look a little weird. All right. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. All right, let me introduce myself. I'm going to switch the camera over, and then we'll get you guys on my view. And then we will go from there. So let me get you guys on here real quick. And baboosh. Bring you guys on over here. Hello. I'm totally not changing settings real quick. Please forgive me for a moment while I do this. Sorry, I was making sure the actual previews were working, so. First off, before I introduce myself, I do apologize if the stream quality is a little bit pixelated. I've been dealing with some weird, like, kilobytes per second issues, so I wish I could fix it. I've done the best I could, so if the stream quality is a little bit lower than you used to, I do want to formally apologize about that. Second off, I catch my breath because I'm out of shape. I'm a little nervous, as you can tell. Second off, hello everybody. Hello everyone from the Midnight community. My name is Wildclaw. I am the innkeeper of the Wanderer, which is my inn that I own in VRChat. I have been bartending and innkeeping in VRChat on a weekly basis for 6 years. Well, 6 years in October, technically speaking. So I've been doing this bartending stuff for a very long time in VRChat, way before there was any sort of functionality with making these cool drinks and all that kind of stuff. So I'm what you call an old man I started in October of 2018 at my own world, The Wanderer. That's where I started doing bartending. And then I expanded outwards, and I do bartending weekly on Wednesdays at a bunch of different places all across VRChat. I'm never in one spot with bartending, except for Friday, where I go to my own inn, because I'm an innkeeper. That's what I do. So tonight, we are going to be chatting with MidnightInVahalla. They are the owner of the Midnight Bar. I wanted to get a better picture of what the bartending scene was like in VRChat, because the bartending I've been doing for the past 6 years is a bit different from what other people do at a place like the Midnight Bar. So I wanted to get... I'm out of breath, sorry. Whew. Give me a second. I wanted to get a better understanding of what that bartending scene was like. I wanted to have a better understanding of what bartending in general in VRChat was like. And I just wanted to understand that more. And I decided to reach out to the owner of the Midnight Bar, MidnightInVahalla. And they were more than happy to sit down with me and talk to me about bartending. So we are actually going to be traveling over to the Midnight Bar in just a moment here. Yeah, comment bounces. We are going to be traveling over to the Midnight Bar here in just a moment. I believe they've already got the instance set up for us, so we will be traveling over there in just a moment. And we're going to sit down and we're going to talk with Midnight about bartending in VRChat. I can talk about what the kind of stuff I do, and then hopefully I'll glean some information from them about what the bartending scene in VRChat is like. Because, like I said, you'll probably learn quite a lot about bartending in VRChat from this session, especially like what the kind of stuff I do, since I've been doing this for 6 years, and the kind of stuff that most people tend to do in Midnight Bar, because it's kind of different from what I do. So, yes, we will be jumping over there in just a moment. I have been trying not to... My nose was tickling me the whole time I was talking because I had a hair on my nose. I'm so sorry, guys. Give me a second. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Hello, Zelox. Hello. A lot of first-time chatters, guys. Yes, thank you so much to Midnight. They were the ones that encouraged me to actually stream this. Originally, I was not going to stream it. I was just going to record it. However, they were comfortable with me streaming it, and they encouraged me to stream it because they wanted to support my channel and such. So I was like, you know what? Sure. So that's why we're streaming it. So I have a list of questions I'm going to be asking Midnight, and if they want to ask me any questions, they're welcome to. And if you guys want to ask questions, that's okay, but please understand if we're like in the middle of talking, we may not read your question, so please understand. Please forgive me if I miss your question or anything like that. So I just wanted to make that clear. So anyway, let's head on over there, and in just a moment, I'm going to be honest, I don't actually know if I have Midnight friended. I'm going to be honest. I think I forgot to friend them. So yeah, that's something else. So we'll go ahead and find them really quick and send them a friend request. Unless they send me one first. Also, thank you to... Oh man, God of War, Zelox, you guys are following me. Thank you. This is like the most amount of followers I've gotten in like any stream. Check DMs. Oh, thank you. Oh my God, I'm so bad. I'm so sorry, Midnight. I actually closed Discord when I stream. I still have Discord open, but I closed Discord. So, yes. Okay, thank you for sending me your friend title. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Be ready for the femboy yap. Be ready to watch me yap, okay? I think I have a lot to say about bartending. I've been doing this for 6 years in VRChat. Weekly, I might add. Weekly, I've been doing this for 6 years. So I have quite a lot I could talk about. God of War first. There you go, someone redeemed it. I'm what you call a boomer when it comes to VRChat bartending, and I think Midnight is what you call a zoomer when it comes to VRChat bartending. That's just me throwing. No, I'm sorry. I don't know. That's not meant to be a rude statement. I just said that to be funny. You guys like my Midnight's okay. So Midnight's. I'm like friending them right now. Give me a second. I'm so sloppy with this. I'm so sorry. Midnight's and. You know, the best part is I didn't have to pay to actually talk to them. That's the coolest part. I'm special. Oh, there they are. Friend request. I have sent them a friend request. Oh, man. But yes, like I said, please forgive me if the stream quality is a little bit lower than usual with the pixels and stuff. I have been trying to fix it. I don't know what's causing it, so unfortunately, let me know if it gets kind of bad. I'll try and fix it, but overall, what you get, this is what you get. You know, I'm what you call an amateur when it comes to streaming, even though I've been doing it for 6 years. I'm just like, hey, if it works, it works. So, all right, let's see if we get that invite from them. Unless I could just join off them, actually, now that I think about it. Give me a second, guys. I'm a little bit slow. Oh, also, if you are curious about what the Wanderer is, you could just search up the Wanderer in VRChat. It's my world in VRChat. It's my inn. I go there every Friday for innkeeping. So yeah. Oh, okay. We got the invite, guys. Wow. Okay, so we are going to travel to the Midnight Bar now, guys. So, like I said, we're just going to go. So, whee! We're in the void. Okay. All right, we're going to have to get a little bit of camera set up here when we get here, by the way, because I did not set up cameras in advance. So, oopsie. Oopity scoopity, you know what I mean? Oh, man. It's already, wow, perfect timing, too. Oh, my gosh. I'm always impeccable when it comes to the timing on this kind of stuff, guys. All right. I got my questions. I'm not nervous. Oh. I'm currently phasing into reality. I didn't even think about where the camera actually is. Oh, gosh. Ooh, I forgot there was like a whole intro for this. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? There you guys are. Okay. Ugh. Oh, right, we're in the darkness, right? Ooh. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get on in there. We are here. We are here at the Midnight Bar. So we're just gonna go on in, and I gotta get the camera set up, and we're gonna go say hi. So I'll get you guys like behind me, like this as like the first intro, I think, and then we'll just go from there. You guys are back there. You guys are back there. There you go. You guys are back there. All right, let's just walk in. All right. This is a terrible camera, by the way. We're not going to do this. All right, let's just go in here. There you go. All right, we are here. Oh. Oh. Whoa, look who it is. Hello. I don't think you need to introduce yourself, but we'll get to that in a moment. If you would just give me a moment to set up the cameras, because I did not set up beforehand. Yeah. So please forgive me, stream. Oh.
Blackboard message.
I didn't see. Wait. We gotta turn off the cameras. We'll get. Oh, that's so nice. Are you able to write this yourself? Like, is it actually like a pin in the world?
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, I actually wrote that.
Okay, well now I gotta take a picture. So 1 sec. Now, like, it's not often I get these kind of beautiful messages. Boop. There you go. All right, folks, hang on for just a second. I'm gonna get some cameras set up here. I'm also gonna sit down real quick because it looks like we're gonna be sitting at the bar. Ooh.
Here, you know what? Just for you, hold on tight.
Aw, just for me. This is crazy. I gotta take off my apron, guys, because I'm not technically working right now. Oh! I've become a bartender. Ah! I was not expected. Holy fuck! That's a good message. Okay, I'll be honest. That's pretty cheeky. I like that. That's a good message. Is that like a common thing that people get to see, or am I like a little special boy? It's like, oh man.
No, it's only when I make the world my own
really
instance, like the red carpet.
Mm-hmm.
Only people will be able to see that, and I give them the bartender role. That's the only message they'll see. It won't be Patreon or anything like that. It'll be
okay,
like...
perfect. Just for this, I was gonna not be behind the bar because I'm the guest. So, but thank you so much for showing me that. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
No need.
Put the apron back on, says DJ. Oh, I'm in the dark. Okay. Oh, I was lost in the void for a second. Sorry. DJ, I'm not gonna put the apron back on. We're not here working. Okay. Is there a toggle for chairs, by the way? Is there a toggle for that?
Yes. So hit the jump button.
Oh, okay.
You do one of two things. You can either click
I see it.
Chairs off, or you can use physically your finger.
Oh. Well, I just turned it off, so that's perfect.
To, ultra. There's an ultra setting.
Alrighty.
And it doesn't.
Gotcha. Oh, so I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just getting my camera set up here.
No, don't be.
Let me get settled in my chair. I'll have my leg kind of just go through the little middle bar there. That'll look fine. Flattering lighting, you know what I mean? So, let me turn off. Yeah, my shade is a little bit different. So, all right. Let's see. I'll just do. God, I look like would you want the logo to be in the camera for this, or is that okay? I'll just do like this. How about that?
You can have the logo. It's fine.
It's your world, so I wanted to advertise it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, your world is pretty popular, so I think you've got plenty of advertising going on there. All right, yeah, stream. We gotta bear with me for a second. Hello, chat.
I see some of my regulars on there too.
I see them too. Hi, welcome to the stream. Please ignore my menacing shadow. This is totally not foreshadowing for anything that I'm gonna ask. I don't have any hard-hitting questions, I promise. I wasn't going to ask, like, weird questions or anything, so Don't worry. So before we start,
Peanut brain, so probably.
yeah.
Yeah, sure, good.
Before we start, we should probably do introductions just so people know who we are. I mean, I know people know you, who you are. Nobody knows who I am. So would you like to introduce yourself to people first?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is MidnightInVahalla. I'm the owner of the Midnight Bar here in VRChat. The creator of the world is actually by my good friend Jamel Kurisu. I commissioned him to have this world done. I am also a variety streamer on Twitch. I do games, just chatting, ASMR, and the like. I have raised over $11,000 for charities over my 2-year venture with Twitch and Tiltify. And also, I am a virtual market ambassador as well. So thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. That was way better than anything I could introduce myself as. $11,000 though? That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What charity?
We've done 6 charities. So we've done many charities like Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, Make-A-Wish International. I have also done St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. We just finished up one not too long ago in July. It was Toys for Tots, and we raised $3,250 for that one.
Nice.
Highest record I've had is for Make-A-Wish, which was 4,000 USD.
Oh man, that's incredible. That's better than anything I could do. I've always wanted to do charities, but because of my small size, I didn't think it would, it would like work out or anything. I did. I'm not flexing, I promise. I don't want this to come off as me flexing about my charitable donations, but so I had a channel point goal where if my community reached the channel point goal on Twitch, I would do a session of innkeeping blind, where I couldn't see anything. Like I would be blind.
Oh.
Like I would do. I had this. You ever seen the avatar where it's a little girl and she has like the little balls on her hands to be able to see?
Yes, the
right.
vision
So
impairment.
I used that avatar for a whole 4-hour session of innkeeping, blind. Couldn't see anything. I could only see with my hands and stuff, right? And what I did was, because I said this during the stream, I was like, you know what? I want to donate money to a blind association. Well, I don't know what you would call it. So I donated $2,000 to I think it's like the Blind Association of America or something like that.
Wow, good for you.
Because like I knew I couldn't really do charity. Like I said, I don't think I really have that like big size or anything. But I was like, you know what? I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. So here's $2,000. Hope that helps someone. So yeah.
No, that's what matters. I mean, okay, so one of the things I always say, the mentality, because when I first did my my first charity, it was actually to Sick Kids Hospital here in Toronto, and I raised about $500. So
really?
It was a very modest amount. Yeah, and I started small too. My mom and I, we put in $100. So I put in 50, she put in 50, so total of 100. And because at the time I wasn't as, I mean, I'm still a small streamer.
In the grand scheme of things.
I have,
yes.
In the grand scheme of things, yes. People know me more of the bar here in VRChat and not the streamer part, surprisingly enough. But I started small, and a little or a lot, it does not matter. The fact that you had it in your heart to do a charity and to provide, to help out with it is always commendable. So good for you.
Yeah, I would like to do more in the future. I've been wanting to do more, and I think what I was going to do. Also, we will get to the questions eventually. I do have questions to ask, but I like to small talk. We talked about it. We do a lot of small talk here. But
oh, believe me, I'm a small talker.
I mean, you kind of have to be if you're a bartender. It kind of just comes with the territory. Yeah, especially when because like I'm not used to being on this side of the bar. I'm used to being on that side of the bar, and I always like have to talk with new people coming in and such. It's like you want to welcome them, introduce them, talk to them if you can. It's you basically just want to be yapping. You know what I'm saying? So it really just helps with that. You do it for so long. It's like okay. But I was gonna say, I already forgot what I was gonna say, but I remembered something else I was gonna say. You mentioned you were more known as from this place versus the stream. I did notice that the video player behind you actually went live with your stream, because when I was watching yesterday and I followed 3,000th follower, by the way, when I followed your Twitch, I came here and I was like, you mentioned that the video player actually had your stream on it. I was like, oh, I kind of want to see if that's actually true.
Yes.
I didn't think you were lying, but I was like, I want to see for myself. And yeah, no, it actually does. So I thought that was like really cool. So I thought it was like interesting. So yeah, but
it's originally.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Originally, this. Well, I mean, it's probably going to be one of the questions, so I'll save it for that. Go ahead.
Okay. And yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, yeah, you're small, but you're definitely doing better than me. So be proud of yourself.
Oh, don't. I think you're doing good. I mean, by all means, like I say, I like to help support smaller streamers because, again, I've been there. I've started off with 2 people and worked my way up, and I get anywhere between 18 to 60 people.
I think that's a good number. That's a good number, yeah. But I could keep like yapping about stuff, but I think I'll get to the questions and then we could just kind of go from there because there's a lot we could talk about. So I have a couple questions here on my invisible hand that chat you can't see, and I'm just gonna ask these and we'll excess overlay. Excess overlay, by the way, it's great. We're gonna shill that.
Get a little napkin, wrote down all the notes.
honestly, but
Also,
go ahead. Sorry.
Shall we take a toast? I gave you one too, right?
I didn't even see it. I'm so sorry.
There's no alcohol in this one because not good to drink on an interview. That's for sure. Cheers.
Speaking of that point,
that one.
Do you actually drink alcohol in real life?
No, I rarely do because I have a medical condition that stops me from really drinking.
See, I don't drink alcohol in real life as well, but it's not because there's anything stopping me. I just never did.
That's fair.
And it's like I've had this happen where people find it weird that I'm a bartender in VRChat, but I don't drink. And it's like, you know what, fair, but at the same time, I mean, I drink water, I drink tea, all that kind of. But like, I always view it as like. I don't know why I use this as an example, but I always view it as the chocolate maker not eating his own chocolate. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you're serving it.
Don't ever eat your own product.
Yeah, don't eat your own product and such. So that's kind of my rationale for not drinking alcohol. I've just never had a reason to as well. So it's like, whatever. So,
yeah.
And before I get to the first question, if I know some people in chat are probably going to ask questions, I just want to apologize to you guys in case I don't see them because we're going to be kind of engrossed in conversation, so I do apologize.
And I've got the overlay here too on your stream too, so
dude, they're already ready for this.
As well. Help you out.
Totally wasn't like a guerrilla setup for me in like 30 minutes, but it was okay. It was fine.
No, I feel that too. Originally when I used to work in retail, I would always be there 30 minutes late or 30 minutes early. So I'd be there way before we start, so I'd have like my food and stuff like that, and prep in case the staff needed me and my manager needed me a little bit early to get some stock up because I used to work in entertainment. And so believe me, I know how it feels like to try and get everything ready to go.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been doing this for so long. It's like I'm like punctual. Like when it comes to opening a bar or like opening my innkeeping sessions, I always try to be punctual. Like 8 p.m. That's when we start. That's when I'm there. I'm ready. I'm on blue. The group announcement goes out. You can join me now. And I always have this little this running joke in my community where it's like if people join like a few minutes before I start, I always grill them. Not in like a rude way. Like it's just a funny joke. It's like, did you read the time? It's not 8 p.m. yet. You gotta wait a few minutes. So. Okay, exactly.
No, believe me, I get a lot of people like that kind of like request off. I'm like, guys, hold on, let me get everything ready.
You will be able to come here in just a minute. Just wait a second. I promise, we're not going anywhere.
Not trying to call out any of my community,
not trying to call you guys out. I could call some of you out, but I'm not going to. So.
I mean, I could too, but.
We're not. We're good community leaders. We don't do that. So. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to the first question. Because I imagine these questions are going to lead into conversations I wanted to talk about. So, so the first question I have is, what made you want to create the Midnight Bar in VRChat?
That's actually the first thing I thought it would be. So, because that's when I stopped myself, I'm like, I knew it was going to probably be something like that. So, originally, I had a world I was using prior to this a very long time ago. And it was actually another cyberpunk bartender action Valhalla world by Steins, and that world has been there since pretty much almost the same time the game came out, which was 2016.
Ooh, that's old.
I believe it was 2017 that it came out. It's more so of I was trying to find something like for myself because I didn't want to use their world because there might be some things that I wanted to, get to change, maybe some add-ons, maybe during seasonal kind of things like Christmas.
Like decorations, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we tried to get We being a Dream Theater, which I'll get to, in a second. But I have I was talking to Dream Theater, who's my friend who actually worked on the model for VRChat. Mari is the one who actually made
Mari
my
3D.
model for VC. Yes, Mari 3D. Yep.
Very
and
talented, by the way.
Sakasa, who's my friend. Oh yeah, no, she's an amazing
She's incredible.
person.
I follow her on Twitter. She's incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I've actually known her from a friend of mine that I've known since 2018, 2019.
Got the connection.
Yeah, Starfire. Yeah, is a good friend of mine. And so beforehand, I actually went by another a modelist. His name was Tidy Flyer. And I had like an older model that I got for about $400. It was for so pretty good. All of the commercial rights and stuff like that. And then this one is 3-4 times that.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine.
It's up to like $2,000 to $3,000 Canadian plus more. And of course saved up and stuff, so it wasn't all in one go. It was still about $2,000 to start, and then $750 for additional outfits and hairstyles and stuff like that. But so Dream was the one who actually got me into Valhalla in the first place. I was using Jill herself for a while because I really liked the character. I didn't even play the game.
And she's from the game, correct? That's that character, Jill?
Yes.
Okay, I was making sure.
Cyberpunk Bartender, actually, Valhalla. Yes, and I actually talked to Kyrian51, the creator of the game. I was in his Discord one night. I was streaming. And everyone just started flocking in, seeing me in there. And then Kieran came in and was happy to see, because he's no stranger to people that have done Jill kind of cosplay on their stream, or people that do like VR kind of style, bartending styles. But when he saw what I was doing, he was really happy that we, as people that bought the game, the community for it, was doing things like this. And eventually I wanted to say one day I wanted to get an actual Valhalla-like bar in Toronto, like an actual one that you could go to physically. Of course, being in Toronto, and the prices and inflation and all those things and hiring people, real life stuff, I was like, you know what, I think I'll just stick with the VR world. So
And much easier.
Yeah, exactly. So I hired, before JMelt, I actually hired a friend of mine I've known for a while, named Wiggly Piggly. He's one of my he's
I don't mean to be rude. I do not mean to be rude. About the name took me by surprise. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, Wiggly Piggly, if you're watching.
He has been a good friend of mine for years. We've gone through thick and thin with each other. He wanted to make a world for me. I commissioned him in that, and he was working for a while, and then something's happened with the world. It started some of the files were getting corrupted and stuff, and then he took a hiatus, and I wanted to have him to take a break. So the world is great. He's actually working on a revision one down the road. So again, super hardworking guy. Love him to bits. He's been with me for so long. Eventually, I then contacted JMelt, and this was 6 months, like way before March, because March 16th was the release of the Midnight Bar. We kind of talked about it, what I was looking for, what I wanted. And one of the things, of course, from this question is I wanted a streaming world for myself. I wanted Valhalla in a VR space because I love the game so much. I wanted to show more people about the game, even though it was already one of the top, I think, 60 highest rated games in all of Steam, which is a very amazing accolade.
Yeah.
Yep, overwhelmingly positive reviews and everything. And I again loved it so much, and so I had a 60-inch neon sign of the logo in my room, and then I got this bar made as well on top, and it was just a kind of a paying tribute to the game, preserve it in history, like a gaming history, because I'm actually going to be doing other game worlds. So this is Valhalla. Another one I'm planning to do is Earthbound. Next. Like a jazz club theater, kind of like similar to the Apollo Theater in New York City, which for some people, if they know about the Apollo Theater in Forestside, gamer, if you're a fan of Earthbound, you'd know. That's going to be something that I want to preserve in a VR space and to give people for years to come, because a lot of the times these worlds they are they stay for a very long time, you know, and people might stumble upon it, maybe have passion to maybe down the road have another all modern version updated and whatnot, because the creators will last forever on these games, you know. So it's one of those things where you just have to think about it in that way. And yeah, I was very passionate about it, very caring about it, and I just wanted people to be happy with what they get, you know. I was tired of clubs, I was tired of private rooms, and I was like, J-Melt, I just don't want to see that anymore. I just want a nice sport bar, Valhalla, drinks machine system, just like in the game, that you can do. And that's it. You know, find your friends, not have to wait 15 minutes to find them and realize they're in a private room. Just you know, chat like VRChat in the name. And here we are. And we never expected to blow up the way that we have. As we're talking, I think the world is now in visits. Let me see.
Probably a lot. I would imagine.
6,900,015.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're almost at like 7 million.
Whole volume is higher. One sec, I got it. They want me to turn the volume up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Oh sure. Yeah. No.
I will turn.
No,
I'll turn your volume up a bit more here, just so they can hear you. There you go.
Sure, of course.
I'm sorry. I thought it was quiet. Like sometimes I turn settings down a little bit just because, you know, something's allowed. There you go. I turned up the world volume a little bit, and I turned up voices a little bit, guys. So hopefully that's a little bit better. I do apologize. Sometimes our settings are a little bit wonky. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Also, true story. Wiggly made that logo.
Oh, well, that is a good logo.
He was the one who actually created that. Yeah, no, he is insanely good at what he does. He also does DJ work. He does editing. The man is basically like almost like a jack of all trades to a point. Okay. So I mean, shoot, he's always looking for people. I mean, if I don't mind giving a plug, if that's
that's
okay.
perfectly fine. Go for it. I mean, plug.
If you want, because DJ in the chat is actually one of my mods. He's actually my main mod, Demon Slayer DJ. DJ, can you give the name for Wiggly's Twitch, if that's okay? Just the name. It's I don't know if you have link protection or not. Or
I probably do, but just give the name, because like I'll talk about that in just a bit, because there's a couple more things I want to talk about bartending wise, especially when you're a streamer bartending in VRChat, because oh my god, I have a lot I could talk about that.
Yeah.
But first off, I just wanted to respond to a few things you said in your question. your answer. So first off, you kind of answered my question that I wasn't going to ask, but I was going to imply it. When I saw the Valhalla here, I was like, this is basically like directly kind of like from the game. So I was wondering, like, did you have permission to make this and use, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at, like, there, like, kind of like, was it like a blessing or?
So when I was talking with Kieran, he's from what I remember, people in the Sukapon Discord has been here. Kieran, I believe, also mentioned that he was also checked out the world. I ended up becoming good friends with Michael Kelly, the composer of Valhalla Road, because of this world, actually, which is funny. I haven't had any cease and desist or anything like that. J-Melt and I wanted to make sure we could do it, and it's been here for over a year now. So we have basically, like, when you go into the menu, especially when you are a customer, and you can show this to the chat too.
Yeah,
you can go through the menu,
and
you go through the pages.
Real quick. Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, go for it.
And
one of those pages when you're going through it. So while you're holding it, use the trigger. Yep, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And then, as a customer, you're going to be able to see all the drinks, but you are a bartender.
Oh my
Eventually,
gosh, that's
in one of the spots, see Valhalla.
Yeah.
So while you're a customer, you'll actually see the games, like the images. You can't see it as a bartender. I'm just giving an example to your chat and anyone watching this. Is the game, the link. So if you flip the menu over, you actually get the Steam URL.
I see.
At the very bottom, as well as J-Melt's Discord. If they have any questions about like any bugs or suggestions, it's wastesidesatellite.com. He is also making his own game, which is that name.
That's cool.
And of course my Discord there too. And yeah, everything is there. All the people's credits, everyone that worked hard on this bar.
Oh man.
It's gotten them a lot more eyes. That's
I'd
for
imagine
sure.
so. It would like this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want them. I want them to. Like my whole point is I want to be a figurehead for their work. Again, for a lot of people that really enjoyed Valhalla, that reached out to them spiritually, because the game brings out a lot in someone. Like when you play the story, it's very, very
Hmm.
amazing, and it got to me so much that I wanted to get more eyes on it, get them to check out their other work, because they do have another game coming out called 45 Parabellum. That's another game
Yeah.
they're working on. Of course, Nirvana is still being made. That's what they said during the anniversary of Valhalla itself, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely be streaming that, by the way, so
Oh yeah.
that's coming.
Okay, so I'm glad you answered that because like I said, I was so curious about it just because I saw this place and I was like, okay, there's no way this place would exist for as long as it has, if like unless it
Yeah.
would get like cease and desist and such. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm glad you clarified
Neither
that.
Jay and I got it.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we try to make it unique to us without too much of the same world being it. Because
Yeah.
as a thought process, if you've ever played the game, you have the window in the background, you have the jukebox. We do have the jukebox, but everything in this world is different. The whole floor plan is different.
Hmm.
There's only a few things that stick from Valhalla because we try and pay a tribute to it. Is the TVs, the mixing system, and also the jukebox again, and of course some of the audio that you can actually hear through the jukebox when you start the day up, just like the game.
Yeah, because I noticed that when I came here by myself, because I wanted to kind of look around a bit more. Because I came here when it first came out, because my friends were like, "Oh, wow, there's like this bar that came out, and it's like a bar. It's on the bartending game." I was like, "Oh, that could be interesting to go to," and I went there and visited, and it was pretty cool. And when I came here to check it out beforehand, it did feel like I was kind of playing a game in a way, because you have like a whole like nice intro, you have like the whole back
Yeah.
end for being a bartender, and then you have like systems in place, even the drink system like that. I think that was a very good job porting that whole drink system from the game into VRChat because it just works so well.
70% of the pain was from that. JMelt has never worked on something at least that complicated.
Oh, I'd imagine.
Yet
Oh my
he was
gosh.
able to do it. I give that man like also a lot of credit. He has put, I don't know how he does it, but after
Magic.
seeing the worlds that he worked with, some people probably might know Cafe LeBlanc in VRChat.
yeah.
And that was one of the
That's an old
worlds
one.
that he helped with because it used to be by someone else, but they gave the reins over to Jamal. I believe that was the story about it. And so he added things with it, and he had some other ones. He's very heavily into his Persona dancing worlds,
Mm-hmm.
like Star Night and all the other ones that are based on the games. And when I saw them, I was so amazed how well and how much love that he puts into his, like, just the worlds themselves. How you can go upside down. You have like a first-person view. I think it was like his Anne like story
Mm-hmm.
world that he did. I can't remember the exact name, but you can find it yourself when you check the Midnight Bar on this related stuff and worlds that he's made. But I had to hire him, and I was really happy I did, because I mean it's also helped him make a living with his work. He gets so many people on Patreon. The community drinks, the overwhelming amount of community drinks is his side. I have nothing to do with it. It's just his little side thing that he does with the bar. We collaborate
Yeah.
together. So my advertisement in the bar helps with me and my funds and what I do, and his with his drinks that people request to have in the bar too.
So you would say you were the one that went to him and commissioned, or I assume him. I apologize if I got that wrong. But you went to JMelt and commissioned them, and then they're the ones that primarily made the functionality for the world. And I guess they 3D modeled the world as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, so he is a world builder. Again, game developer himself. The only thing I really gave him was I showed him some of the worlds, like the Stein one and some other flat ones that people made of Valhalla itself. The only thing I gave him was the bar. I had a 3D modelist actually do the bar for my background for my streams when I'm not in VR. So like non-VR streams, I have like a special one. So I gave him that as a reference, and lo and behold, he made it unique to not trying to take a carbon copy of that background, but something as similar. This is similar, but everything else, like the stage, like the office,
Yeah.
like the bathroom, the VIP jacuzzi, the hot tub area, the booth over there, like you go to the booth and then a TV drops down, you can switch to the stage cam so that if you're watching someone karaoke or you have DJs playing or whatever, you can focus on that.
Okay.
So very cool things. I couldn't have asked for anyone better, to be honest with you. Man's
Yeah,
amazing.
I've got mad respect for J-Melt if he's a world creator, because like I know what it's like. Yeah, I know what it's like, because I like this model you see right now. I made this all from scratch, and my World the Wanderer I've also made from scratch, and I've never really got around to commissioning someone to make a model and stuff for me, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of stubborn, and like it's like I want to do that myself. I want to model it myself, call it like my own. So I completely understand like what the process is like to make a world like this, because I've done it as well. So a lot of work goes into it. It takes months. It could take months upon months of work to make stuff like this. So mad respect to J-Melt there.
Yes, especially coding.
Oh yeah,
something like this
especially
was
gosh.
a challenge of
Yeah, coding is. I only touch with Udon Graph in VRChat. Like I'm still trying to understand Udon Sharp. I'm not like the best programmer, but all the functionality I do in my map is made by me, and I do Udon Graph because it's just more easier to understand. So yeah, when I see this system, I'm like, that sounds pretty complicated. I don't know if they're using object pools, whatever they're using for that, but man, that is whew. But I will say it turned out really well. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. Like, I mean, he's also made like the bouncer system. He's made this place sealed tight so no one can just fly through and no clip in. People have tried to do that. He's actually implored people to try and find problems with the world.
Yeah, like exploits.
And bug testing and stuff like that. And he's helped people, and he's again such a great individual when it comes to things like this. And it's just, I don't know how. I really don't. The man is, like Hydration said in the chat, does it with like 20 cans of Red Bull.
Yeah. I would know.
We, like him, like his girlfriend and I were telling him to take a break because he was overworking himself so much and he was burning himself out. And eventually he started being able to balance it now. He goes on trips. He's done a lot for himself more. He plays his games. One of the things I actually forgot to mention is when I usually work with people, I want them to play the game. I don't want to just give them the money and have them make it. I want them to be excited for the product that they're making, and make sure that they're having fun while getting paid. I think that's like a dream thing with a lot of people. That's the boss mentality I have with myself. And when you get that kind of love, like when I told J-Melt to play the game, he finally did, and he was like one of the best games he's played, like out of the top men amount that he has. He's got a lot. I mean, Persona being the other one, of course, which you can clearly see from his worlds, very Persona-esque. It's just really great, and it makes people happy, and that's why I like to try and work with people when they have passion. Usually I give them the game. Like, I'll buy them the game if they don't have it and say, hey, what do you think of this? And I don't mind. If it's like $15, I'm like, play it, enjoy it. If you want to do it, if you're serious about it. And I only do that with like pretty big like people that actually work in the gaming industry. I kind of, because I know for a fact of being the passionate gamer that they are, it comes with that territory, and one of the reasons why I got Jim to work on this.
Yeah, so I wanted to circle back on a previous point that you mentioned. Sure. I'm trying not to lose myself. I'm very bad when it comes to forgetting to mention things. So I've been trying to like remember things. You mentioned earlier on you wanted a place to have for yourself, like a place of your own to bartend at and such. And I completely understand that. That is like the whole reason I made the Wanderer in the first place, which for anyone who doesn't know what the Wanderer is, that is my VRChat world. It's old as hell. It's from 2018, but I've been updating it for all these years, and that's like my main place I go to. Like, I mean, hell, if I bust out the apron, I'm not gonna dance. If I bust out the apron I was just wearing, like this, the Wanderer, like the logo is on the front, which was made by my friend Zaka. They did a great job. But I completely understand that feeling, because because I do both. Like, I go to my own place, but then I also go to other bars in VRChat. Like, I go to places that have barely any functionality, because for me, all it takes, all I need is a bar that has a collider, maybe drinks to serve people, and that's all I need to do a bartending session in the world. So that's all I need. That's my like criteria, because I have a criteria when I do worlds. Right? Yeah, simple.
like simple to the point, nothing too complicated. You know, it's like that's the thing with this bar. Simple, not complicated. If you know the Valhalla drinks in the game, there's no menu for it. If you notice it just says just to be on the safe side. If you know them, it just pops up. If you know the Flaming Moai, it'll pop up. Many others. So yeah, no, believe me, we wanted to make it as simple as it is, so that everything is, you know, there. And again, not taking 20 minutes to find your friends. Just boom, 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 down the stairs, take a drink, and just also give the bartenders a mini game to keep themselves
entertained, like,
you know, focused. Yes, because a lot of the things in with VR is that, I mean, I have a personal mirror here right now because I make sure that I'm doing the right like expressions and stuff like that, and I do love my model. Like Mari did such a great job. Sorry.
No, go plug it all you want to. Mari is a phenomenal 3D artist. I follow them on Twitter. Well, I think I follow them on Twitter. I see their posts. I've wanted to commission them, but it's one of those things where it's like it comes back to being a stubborn when it comes to making my own stuff. Yeah. So it's like I have been kind of easing back into commissioning people for, you know, making things for me that I can't do myself. So maybe one day I'll be able to commission Mari. I would love to. I think I don't know if she does male models, but I would love to commission her one day if possible. But that I mean, her commissions are closed, I think. So, you know, up until one day, you know. So
well, like Mari's whole thing with because her latest work that she did was Entrea's.
I saw that.
Shoujo, that she just finished, which was absolutely amazing, by the way, gorgeous. She's also worked with many other YouTube talent agencies.
She's popular.
She's worked with Lumi. She's very popular, and I knew her just before she started blowing up. When I started working with her, and the nicest, most sincere person you'll ever meet.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine.
When it comes to we've been friends for a while. We chat with each other back and forth. I sometimes, when she would be kind of overworked and stuff, I would get her a pizza, or one time she wanted to get some arts and crafts, so I bought her some beads and stuff to, you know, those little pixelated beads, those arts things that you can make like Mega Man, like the old NES kind of thing. Yeah, so I got her that. It's just as a like my way of making sure that she's okay and that, you know, we became close in that regard. But
that's
back
great.
to that. Yeah, it's just more fun.
That's nice of you to support.
It's more fun to be able to. Of course. I always try and treat my friends.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, go back on my point. I understand.
Yes.
That's actually going to be another question coming up here soon in regards to all that stuff. That's perfectly fine. But I completely understand when you're bartending and you want to be able to have fun. Like this, like I will talk about this later in the interview, but I know what it's like to be a bartender and be bored when no one's like, if you're at the bar and there's no one talking to you, and if you do like I do, I go to like different bars that don't have functionality, there's like nothing to do, right? You're just sitting behind the bar waiting for someone to come up to you or whatever, or talking to chat, which, you know, usually my chat's like I'm talking to maybe 2 or 3 people, which, hey, look at that, I don't mind. I forgot what I was going to say, but yes, I understand completely. So, but that's going to come up in a question up here soon about the bartending and stuff. So I will,
of course, I
will continue moving forward to questions because I don't want to get too crazy.
Of course.
So second question kind of relates to something you were mentioning. What do you think about your world being like the hotspot for bartending in VRChat? Did you think like such a thing would happen?
Neither of us did, to be honest with you. We thought, you know, Gmail gets about anywhere between 70,000 to 100,000, like usually in the worlds. I mean, the highest one that he had, I think, is way over that, is Cafe LeBlanc. And even he told me that he thought that was going to be his only world that actually would have that high. He never thought it would ever get that high. But again, I believed in his work. I believed that we had something. Even though I didn't expect it, I thought, hey, we'll get like maybe 250,000, maybe 1 million, but nothing as high as we got. And, you know, the philosophy is, you know, you try and take care of the people that you care for and you want the best for them. You put your time and effort into doing it. And so, yeah, that's why I hired him. And we didn't expect it to go to the point that we're at now.
Yeah, because it's honestly, like, incredible looking at it. Like, I think I only found out about the scene surrounding Valhalla I think either earlier. Okay, so did this world come out last year or did it come out this year? Because I swear I saw it last year. Or no?
March 16th, it should be. You can actually go into the world and then check it out itself. It's published March 16th, 2023.
Okay.
So it's been
last year then. Gotcha.
like last year. Yeah, we were just over about a year and almost a half. But again, it's one of those things where, well, thank you very much. I mean, like I said, all the success comes from VRChat. I never expected to, it was also an advertisement for my world. Like, you go to the back, there's like a poster of my merch. I've done some Back to the Future-esque merch made by Rikito, which is the same artist who did Elien, if anyone's heard of Elien, her 2D model. I love the art style of it, so I hired him for that, and then I put it into the poster, which is like all my phone cases, I've got gym bags, I've got like everything from Fourth Wall too. So people see it, QR code, it's got my Twitch, and like you said, it pops up on the TV there, which, by the way, was just recent. Originally, I was trying to get a way to get a domain, and him and I were thinking about how it worked. He told me exactly try and get a Squarespace, one of those domains. Tried it, and he was like, unfortunately, it doesn't work. So he found another way to do it and got it. And luckily enough, Squarespace had a return policy, so if you didn't like it, you just got the money back. So win-win, worked out.
Okay, yeah, there's a few things to unpack there. First off, Fourth Wall. A funny story about Fourth Wall. They emailed me at my business email asking if I wanted to do merch, and I emailed him back and I said, I don't think I'm big enough to do merch. I don't think anyone's gonna buy my merch. So I said, thank you, but for now I'm not interested. And look, very nice guy that I was emailing. He actually responded back and said that's understandable. But yeah, so I'm actually surprised you mentioned Fourth Wall, because like I said, they emailed me and I don't know, I wanted to try doing merch for the innkeeping and such, but I personally don't think I'm cool enough for anyone to buy my merch. But maybe one day, who knows?
Ever feel that. So, if I may, something to know is that I actually started with Stream Elements, their store, back when they were doing it, and I was doing it really early, because why not? Best thing to do is maybe someone will eventually want one. Maybe they're like, oh, I really like a hat. It ended up working. So, the quote of, Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So
True.
So I just did it and went to Fourth Wall. They merged with Fourth Wall, and I've actually, I think that I know who you're talking about. The CEO of Fourth Wall likes my stuff and whatnot too. So the quality is amazing. I just did a signature autograph for someone that's actually in your chat right now. They were here earlier. You know who you are.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know.
And I bought a little paint pen, because of course you want to make sure it stays, and if you mess up, you can just wipe it off and do it again, and then once it's perfect, it just dries out. So I did that, and the quality of it is so good. I even have some other stuff that people have showed me, my hats, a lot of things. And so, yeah, no, go for it.
Guys?
Don't be scared. Do it.
Yeah.
Please do, because anything's possible.
So, okay, I'll go on that point. But yeah, if I was ever going to do merch, the one thing I wanted to do, absolutely, and people have said they wanted to buy this, is I was going to do an apron. I was going to make an apron, a green apron.
I think they have aprons on.
So that's good, because if there's one thing, for my regulars in the chat, if there's one thing that is an iconic thing of me for bartending, it's the fact I always wear a green apron with the logo on it. That's like when people come to my innkeeping and they want to work there and stuff, we don't really have a policy for that. It's kind of just if you're a friend of mine and you want to help out, that's fine. But most of the time when people want to quote unquote work at the Wanderer, they will put a green apron on their avatar and such. That's the uniform we have for the Wanderer, is a green apron. And also the Crocs aren't mandatory, but you can also wear the Crocs as well. Now, I did see J-Melt had the Croc icon, so J-Melt, if you're watching, I understand completely. Crocs are really good. I made these myself.
Yeah,
so
I'm still trying to give wow, heck yeah, good for you.
I thought you were about to reach for your Crocs for a second. No, I thought you were about to reach for your Crocs. I was like, no. Bust them out. I'll go for it.
I wish.
I'll give you a second to drink your water there. I might drink a sip of my tea here in a moment, because when you talk
remember
so much, it's ugh, yeah. Here, we'll do a hydrate moment for a second, guys, while we hydrate.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I mean, the only.
Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna look like a
I think
gremlin
the
for a
only
second.
Here, let me go back on my my actual shoes. my work attire, is just basically like, so like they're not even, they're like old.
They're like
shoes,
I don't know what they're called, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
They look nice.
They're just simple. Well, thank you. But there's also a little hidden joke in behind this, because I found out not too long ago. Dream, because he's a jokester, he always does these things. If I were to pull these up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you.
Do you want to show that, or do you want to just keep that a secret? Yeah.
Go ahead.
You want?
No, go ahead. Show it to.
Oh, okay. Well,
Here,
can you raise yourself? I don't want to move the camera because I can't put it back. If I.
Yeah. Sure.
Chat. We got a big shoe.
Like
big shoe. Big.
We got big shoes to fill.
Really big. Yeah, really big shoes. Oh my gosh, massive shoes. Oh man. Yeah.
Yes.
So I completely understand. Like I said, I have been kind of getting more into that sort of content creation mindset recently. For the past like 6 years, sporadically I would post a like innkeeping highlight on YouTube where it's like it's my stream highlights of innkeeping, and then I would post those. And it's only been this past year that I've actually been doing like a monthly video. So every month I have an innkeeping highlight from the innkeeping sessions that we do, and it's actually really really nice. Even though like I'm not expecting to grow, because bartending is kind of a niche thing in VRChat in a way. It's very
we're niche,
like very content niche sort of things. Yeah, like I compared it to like if you look at someone like Lalathon, big massive creator who does all these like fun bits and stuff, right? But then like I consider bartending to be the inverse of that, where instead of being the bit creator, you're the person receiving the bit. Like you're the one, like people, like that's what happens with me at innkeeping, where I'm behind the bar, and then people will come up and do their bits and their skits and their improv with me, and that's perfectly fine. I love it to death. Because like I said, my bartending, my innkeeping is not roleplay per se. I've always said it's not roleplay. It's usually like improv. The most roleplay you'll get is, oh, hi, welcome to the Wanderer. My name's Wild Club. Would you like anything? And then that's like it. Like outside of that, it's just a casual public incident. So it's like, all right, fair enough.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Very niche thing.
Very niche and a niche thing.
There was something else I was gonna mention, but I lost my train of thought, and that's okay. That happens sometimes to the best of us. So.
No,
let me see what the next question was.
Go ahead. I know we were talking about. I think it was, or sorry about that. I think it was something about the merch thing and where I put the poster in the back, and that TV originally didn't even have that. We didn't even. I just had the poster in the back.
Oh, yeah, you may remember.
I was fine with that.
I remember what I was going to say, but go ahead and finish what you're saying first.
Good. No, that was it. I was just trying to get your memory going.
This isn't exactly a question I wrote down, but I might as well ask it. Like, I found it very interesting that this world does feel like. I don't know how to say this, but you've sort of monetized bartending in VRChat in a way, right? Like it feels like, because I've seen like you have I think I saw there's a poster somewhere that you can like pay to have something on, correct? And then I also saw you could pay for like branding, where you could put like a thing, right? Is that correct?
So that's JMail's Patreon, which is, for people who don't know, patreon.com/JMail. And there's different types of tiers that you can get. Some are just to unlock the pool, the jacuzzi in the back, or the hot tub, and you only need one person to do it. You don't need anyone else. It's just one, and that instance
one and
will
done.
happen permanently.
Yeah, for the instance.
Yeah, but their name will be etched into the world, knowing who is the cool person that opened it for everyone. So even if they're gone, they'll still have their name in the instance. And then there's, like, for example, all the way to the $50 tier, where you can have your banner up there for your bar group, and also be able to change the color of the world now, which is actually a new thing that JMelt has thrown in, which you can find all the information in the back office. Everything is all there for people. And then, of course, the Mad Lad $100 tier, which is the poster that you get, and everything below when it comes to that. And then the drinks, those are separate from the world. Those are very expensive. Like, I think you go
like custom drinks,
$400 to $750, depending on the complexity. I'm just ballparking them. It might be a little bit cheaper. I know that if you're a patron, if you've been a patron and supporting JMail for a while, you do get a bit of a discount, if I remember. But don't quote me on that one, Jay, if you're seeing this video. But it's what you see. Like, all those drinks that you saw when you're flipping it through are all people that paid that kind of money. right? So ones that are like from a burger to the Invoker of Memories, which is the gun from one of the guns that the main character from Persona 3 has, like all these types of things that people have made. The Emerald Flask, I think it was a Demon Souls or Dark Souls, whatever. That's supposed to like cure you if you get drunk, just like the potion heals you. And many more that I cannot ever get into. I even got to a point where some of the bartenders that I work with, that is in my Discord, one of them is named Floris, and he was one of the original people that did the list of drinks for people to help them out. And then some people kind of started moving in with Gamer, and some other people that actually started doing it, which God bless them for helping out with that, because without them, I mean, people put them in their avatars. I see people use their avatars, put the drink menu on it. It's really, really cool, and things like that really makes me proud of how the community gets together when it comes to things like that. So yeah, the poster is there for flaunting, but it's $100 a month. And then yeah, if you really want your name etched in this bar, then it's the commission drinks.
Yeah, so are the drinks also like a monthly thing, or is that like a permanent, like one time purchase?
Permanent.
Okay, see, I had a feeling it was going to be permanent, because I don't think people are going to be paying $40 a month for a drink in there.
No, especially it's like a down payment, like your monthly payment on a car.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You maybe spend like $200 to $300 USD to pay for a Toyota Corolla or stuff like that. Just like, oh my God, and that's bi-weekly.
Oh.
So...
Yes,
yeah.
Like I said, I found that very interesting because, like I said, I've been doing innkeeping, and basically innkeeping is bartending. It's essentially the same thing. It's a little bit different, but I've been doing it for so long, 6 years coming up here now.
I know, I've known you for a while now.
Okay,
so
we'll talk about that in just a moment, because I was gonna bring that up, but I didn't know when. But I've been doing this for so long, and like early on, like I didn't really have any plans to like try and monetize when I was doing it. It was like, okay, I'm just doing it for fun, hanging out public instance. But I have been thinking a lot more in these past few years, like. I've kind of wanted to do that, and that's why I opened a Patreon, because it's just like, okay, if you want to like support me without doing like Twitch or whatever, you can just do it through Patreon. Like that's why I opened that. But the thing is, I don't really have too much to offer at the Wanderer right now, because I don't have like any of that functionality or any of that stuff set up like kind of how this place does. Like I've wanted to make a drink system, like a actual like drink system, and I wanted to make a food system as well, because for the longest time for innkeeping, we don't really have these systems. So like at most it's like we have a stein, we put it on the faucet, it fills up, that's it. There's not like any like special drinks we can make. We have them on the...
Some people like it though.
Yeah, some people like it. We have it on the menu though for certain drinks, and I've always wanted to, but I just never got around to it, because it's one of those things where once again my stubbornness comes back, where it's like I want to make the system myself and I want to do all that myself, but it's just so much to it. It's just like it's
coding and all that.
Coding and all that kind of stuff. And I still want to do it, because I do the weekly innkeeping, and I would love, like, because we have people, like I said, staff members, quote unquote, people that have been part of the community who want to help behind the bar, and I've always wanted to give them more stuff they can do, because right now it's kind of just minimal. It's like, oh, okay, like if somebody asks for a drink, you get a drink, that's it. And I've always wanted to do that. So technically, I have like the world set up in such a way that that system can be integrated into it. I just have to sit down and do it. I was thinking about commissioning someone to help me with like the coding and such, but we'll see how that turns out eventually. But like I would love to potentially...
I might have someone for you for that if you need.
Well, I might send that my way sometime. But I would love to eventually... I feel it feels kind of weird saying like monetize the innkeeping, monetize the bartending, because I don't want to come off as like I'm doing this just for money. You know what I mean? Like I like it if people can support what I do. If they want to support me, I want to give them that opportunity, and then give them rewards and benefits for doing that. But it's just I've been busy with other projects and stuff, so I haven't sat down to do it yet. So like I said, I found it very impressive what was happening here at the Midnight and all that kind of stuff, and like that. And I also think like that feels like it's kind of one of the reasons why this place is kind of popular, because like these groups can come in, and if they wanted to pay for it, they can brand the world with their group like logo and stuff, and kind of basically just like take over, like kind of like possess the bar itself, and like actually have like functionality for making fun drinks and stuff. Whereas a lot of bars in VRChat, like they don't have functionality. They just have like pickups you can pick up in a bar, and that's it. And I would know, because I go to them like all the time. Like I feel like I'm like the only. I don't want to. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I feel like I might be like. Well, two things. A, I think I might be the oldest bartender in VRChat. Not true. I don't know how true that is. Currently, that's still currently going on. Aside from maybe Owlboy. I think Owlboy might be the older. Like he's definitely. I think he bartends at his Great Puck sometimes. So I think he's technically older. But I've been doing this for so long, and I feel like I'm like one of the only kind of bartenders that actually goes to like a bunch of other different bars that don't have functionality and actually does bartending there. Because like I said, when you said World was released March 2023, right? That's what you said. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And before that point, because I had been doing this for years, and it's like before that point, I didn't know of any other groups of bartending communities out there. It felt like for years it was just me. It was just me and my community.
I think it was just
I think it was just me.
It was.
Because there wasn't like the motivation here with the midnight bar is that you have like a functionality. It kind of feels like you're playing a game, but then it like ties into that social element of VRChat, and it really encourages people to actually become a bartender. Whereas what I was doing was I was just like a guerrilla bartender where I was just going to all I had needed was a bar and maybe some pickups, and that's all I needed. I didn't need any drink system or anything like that.
Just give me a roof over my head.
Yeah, just give me
in the kitchen, and then I'm fine.
Yeah, so my criteria is actually pretty simple. I'll actually tell you guys what my criteria is. I think I have 3 criterias for what bars I go to. It has to have a bar with a collider. I gotta put an asterisk with a collider. Because, you know, the Midnight Bar, you have built-in functionality to prevent people from running behind the bar. But I cannot tell you how many times I bartend at bars, and people, like, they don't know how to read the room, and they're just like, oh, I'm just going to, you know, walk behind the bar and just be like, I own the place. It's like, can you, like, read the room? Like, I get it. Maybe some people aren't, you know, the best at that, but I tell them politely to get out from behind the bar, and most people comply, which is really nice of them.
And it gets...
you have no idea. Sorry, guys.
It's harder when you get like, no, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Actually, going with what your point was, is one of the biggest problems is people that are delinquents. You know, it's very difficult to police what you're trying to make in a really good like vibe, like, in a good atmosphere. You don't want to have kids coming in and ruining the experience, or people that are adults and act like rude people. And so so and that's the thing. DJ saying in the chat, nobody really
exactly.
Room, right?
I would know. For 6 years I've done it. I trust me, I see it all the time. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and so originally, again, one of the things was I didn't really think about it in the grandest scheme of things when the bar was done and it was out there, that we would spawn so many bar groups, places like Cybar, places like Last Call, places like Callie's Clubhouse, so many other ones that, just to name a few, I think one of the most successful ones is Cybar. I know the people at Cybar, super nice people. They've been so successful that now they're trying to actually make a real world bar, and their popularity and stuff, and as well as they have the Bar Black.
Oh wow.
Too. So I'm very, very happy how these communities have been able to build up by allowing them to. It's kind of like a rental service, right?
Yeah.
You're paying for the rental to put your name out, and people will get to know your group, and maybe you want to take it away from here. Maybe you want to say, for example, I want to take this and turn it into an actual business. I've had people tell me that this bar single-handedly made them into bartenders.
Well, there you go.
Which is amazing. I've had people from the army, the military, you name it, give them a place to kind of call home, and just, they have a long day, especially if you're from the military. I can only imagine how much of a pain and strain that is, but they come here, they've told me how much they appreciate the world. I've had so many success stories about these groups, and it's fascinating. It is very fascinating to see how many people, good and bad, that come in, and just how people respond to each other, how they react. And we got to a point where it got so bad that we actually had to have a whole system called the Notorious List to even combat the crashers and the delinquents causing issues to not just me but to other bar groups, especially the well-known ones, issues. So
Oh man, see, okay, I got a lot to unpack there. Like, I understand completely, because this is honestly one big thing is, I don't know if you knew this, but I've never actually come to the Midnight Bar to bartend doing one of my sessions yet, and I have a reason for that. Not because I don't like the world. I think the world is phenomenal, but I have a very specific reason why, and it kind of ties into what you were talking about. So, for years, I have, I've been doing bartending for years and such. And one of the biggest things that pushes me away from going to certain bars is a few things. First off, is it popular? That I know that sounds a bit counterintuitive, like we want to bring new people in. Like the idea is like you go to a popular world, you could get new people, right? And that's true. But then you realize the more popular a world becomes, the more likely you're going to run into crazy people. So like early on, especially when we didn't have no groups, there was no group instances, nothing like that. So when I went to a bar, it was like just a raw dog public instance, and the only thing I could do was do a vote kick and block. So very early on, I kind of realized if I go to these popular worlds, yes, I might meet new people, but I'm also going to run into crazy people. And that's why with places like the Black Cat, like I've been to the Black Cat, I've bartended there. Usually the first 30 minutes to an hour of a Black Cat session when I bartend there is chaos. It's like all the kids are coming in, all the crazy people are coming in. My mods
say the gamer word or something like that.
My mods are phenomenal
like, oh
because I tell them whenever I go to the Black Cat, which is not often, I always tell my mods that join, they're like, I tell them, hey, listen, if you hear a kid, like we know, right? Like I've done this for so long.
God bless the mods doing God's work.
Like I advertise my innkeeping and stuff as like 13 plus, right? Like that's okay. I don't care. Like I've had patrons who are like underage and they're totally chill people and such, but you can usually tell when you hear like a kid, it's like what this person's gonna do. Like this is just like I've seen this 1,000 times. So with my mods, I always tell them that it's like if you hear that and you believe that might be an issue, you have my blessing to remove them from the instance, and it always does really great. But yeah, like I said with Midnight Bar, another thing is also just quest compatibility. I have nothing against quest users, but I have noticed whenever I go to popular quest worlds for bartending, you will always get kids. Always. It is just like hands down,
affordable
there
VR.
will be children coming into the instance. And the thing is, unlike Midnight Bar, where you guys have like a bouncer system, which by the way is a very interesting system. I could talk to you about that in a bit. But
very controversial, I know.
Well,
sometimes
I'll get to that in a moment. But like for me, we don't have bouncers or anything like that. So like anyone can just walk in and just be like, oh, yeah, blah 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 stuff. So like I've had to deal with that so many times. And also, like I said, like running behind the bar, when I do bartending, it's like, yes, that will happen. It sucks. And I always have to tell people not to do it. It's always new people. Yeah. Community regulars are just like, they totally understand. But it's always like new people, and I always be nice about it. But sometimes you get some crazy people, and it's just like, all right, bye. So that's kind of why.
But that's part of it.
It is part of it. That's kind of why at the Wanderer, I really want to add either a whitelist system or some kind of system that makes it to where only certain people can go behind the bar and stuff. I've been wanting to do that. It's just a little bit difficult setting up that system, so I haven't done it yet, but I understand completely, and I do get it why. And like with the bouncer system, that's a very interesting system you have here, because like this place is it's a bar. It's an actual like it's meant to be a bar. So the idea is it's going to be treated like a bar. So it's like if you wanted this to be an adult space, you do have to have someone kind of moderating who comes in and who doesn't. Things, exactly. Where like I said, I don't have that at my place because I'm always just going to like I said, going to bars that don't have functionality, and it's just it could be kind of a wild west. But it's with group instances, it's way better now. It's so much better, like so much nicer to bartend now with group public instances now, because not only myself but my moderators and like the regulars, like they can have moderating powers to just remove people if need be. So because it's when you do this for this long, you usually see like the trends and stuff of what certain types of people who like to cause trouble. And I think the biggest thing for me with troublemakers is, I think it's different for Midnight Bar because you're this is a popular bar, so it's like popular, so crazy people will just come here.
You're gonna have all the time.
But with me,
you have to expect it.
But with me, I'm always going to like unknown places, so that factor is not an issue. Right. But the biggest thing with me is
a bad thing.
It's because I'm streaming, and I've had this happen multiple times, right? Where I will have someone in the chat who will be like, "Hey, can I come can I come like visit or whatever, or can I come to the bar?" And I'm like, because I do group public instances, it's like, sure, obviously, it's a group public instance, of course you can come. And then usually it'll either be someone who tries to crash the instance, which I never fall for it because I have like the performance settings set in such a way that I don't show people usually, or they jump on the bar and they look me straight in the eye and they just yell like the N word like 10 times in my face for some reason.
So funny enough, you mentioned that. One of the things I do for my stream is I monetize it because it's another way of using it as a security. So if people want to join me for my bar, they actually have to pay to come in.
Yeah, I did notice that.
They have to pay a tier 1 sub and stuff like that, or closed bars, what I do for, because let's be real, I think a lot of people in the chat, they never think about a tier 2, tier 3. They just usually get the tier 1 because you get all the emotes that you need. You don't have to worry about it. It's the cheapest, right?
Yeah.
But what I like to do, especially for people that go a tier up or more, is, for example, with tier 3s and tier 2s, they actually can come to a closed bar, so only those people can come in for that week. But it also allows me to focus more on the chat too, and maybe the regulars that want to come in want to talk with chat, and we kind of socialize with them too, because some people don't want to go into VRChat. Some people just don't want to, they just like being on disc. Like maybe they're at work, maybe they're at the lunch break.
Yeah.
They're on the phone, but they still want to get that feeling of being at a bar. And that's what I try and do. And I've had so many people, like you mentioned, where it's like, hey, can I come in? Hey, can I come in? And DJ in the chat knows exactly what I'm talking about too, because he always, either that or Spaghetti, one of my used to be mods, would always be saying, hey, you gotta pay. If you get tier 1, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then, it usually goes, and it's knock on wood, if I have, where's my desk? Here it is. Knock on wood. It's been really good and it works really well, and it also allows me to pay for new emotes and also hire other artists for my art for future models. I've got like 3 more outfits from Mari I'll be working with her in the future. I've got a manager attire coming up. I've got a combat maid. I've got a bikini one especially too. So a lot of really cool things is because of that whole system, and of course just people being really kind, because there's a lot of people in my community that give a lot of subs. Like, it is insane the amount of times I've had it happen, and it just makes me happy that people are willing to go that far to do that, right? Just, it's unfathomable. So I always try and give them the best value for what they give. So even if they're tier 1, they get to have movie nights with me in the Discord, they get to hang out with me in the bar and open nights, or like even Thursday, tomorrow I have a VRChat meetup because we hit a September goal for that, so I'll be doing that. But yeah, the security thing with the people asking to join, monetizing it slightly really actually does help, because no one's going to come in and pay the money, because if they pay the money and do that, hey, thanks for the money. Right?
Yeah.
And then it kind of works out. But yeah, no, it's been a good system.
Yeah, see, I unfortunately kind of have put myself in a precarious position, because with what I do, I do group public, so it is always going to be a public session. And unfortunately, what that means is, like, I don't know, like, ever since, because I've been doing publics since 2018 for bartending and innkeeping, like, it's just always how it's been, because I like the idea of, like, meeting new people and letting people just come in and go out, because, like, the idea was at the Wanderer, it was like, it was an inn, and the idea was you would stop by here while you're traveling through VRChat, rest a little bit, chat, and then go your other way. So, like, I don't think I could ever do a sort of lockdown with monetization like that, because for me, I've just always had it open. But that's a problem, though, because if my stream were to get, like, really big, like, let's say, like, I go from, like, what, my average of, like, 5 viewers to, like, 30 on Twitch, then what that's doing is putting a target on my back for people that scour through VRChat streams looking for people to harass. And it sucks because, unfortunately, like I said, it's just the structure of my innkeeping is in such a way that I always do it in public. So I set myself up to have to deal with this.
You're a welcoming person.
I am a very welcoming person. I treat everybody as nicely as I possibly can. I treat them all with respect. And I mean, like, some people are just horrible people and they just want to ruin everything. And, like, I've talked about this with my community as well. I was like, there's going to come a day where I have to decide, if I get big, am I going to still be able to do innkeeping, or do I need to lock it down? Do I need to do, like, oh, you can't come to innkeeping unless you know, like what you do, you know, or do like a system like you do.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to stop innkeeping. I love doing it. I love bartending. I love doing all this stuff. I love meeting new people. I always meet some phenomenal people.
Of course.
My sessions have been responsible for friends meeting other friends, like groups of friends meeting each other. Like I can count multiple times where like people are close friends with another person now because of my innkeeping session, right? And I guess I've just always had that philosophy of just having it be a public instance. But yeah, it's unfortunately I'm kind of sitting on a ticking time bomb, if you would say. There will come a day where I have to decide. Like, am I going to have it to where I think I actually have a policy now where if you ask in the chat, I'm probably just either going to ignore it or say no. Because, like, it has happened.
Yeah.
Literally, I went to... Fo, if you're watching this, Fo's probably still watching this. I went to my friend Fo's world, Home Depot Genzokyo, for bartending. I was literally talking about this what we're doing here, because I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be doing this next week, guys. I'm not going to be bartending. And I was literally talking about how I wanted to talk about, like, moderation and how, like, sometimes people come into my chat and they're like, can I join? I was streaming live while I was talking about this. Right as I said that, new person into this chat and does exactly what I just said, literally one for one, and they do it, and then I joke it to them about it, and they're like, "Oh, haha, yeah, that's funny," and then like they join, and then like I look at like their groups, because usually I've had you can usually tell if someone's a crazy person if you look at their groups. This person had a bunch of like anti-streamer groups, right? Like instantly I just knew. I was like, okay, this person's
they're like raid kind of thing.
Instantly, like and I didn't have their avatars shown, so I didn't see what they were, but I just kicked them instantly because I already knew what was going to happen. So I was like, okay, well, this is just phenomenal.
Funny thing, real quick on that. When you mentioned Phantasma, he's the one I'm going to be working with a new project in the future.
Damn, Fo, you crazy. I'm turn. He's probably still watching right now. We talking about the same Fo, Phantasma, right? Are we talking about the same Phantasma?
Yeah, the
I don't know if you're still watching,
bar
but...
that he I checked out one of his new
Dimensional
world,
Dream. Dimensional Dream. Yes.
I loved it so much that I was looking for someone that sort for Earthbound. And that is someone we were in chats and stuff like that. I won't go into it for
That's okay.
But so, again, like Fo is a very, like, the way that the man does things so quick. And I saw the work that he's put in, and I've listened to his story about the world, and it just blew me away. That I'm like, I want to build with him. I want to actually get him noticed and stuff, because he's got a decent amount of viewers, people visits coming into that bar, which is great. But I also want to hopefully do the same thing like I did with J-Melt, and do that with other people. It might be just a lightning in the bottle, and it kind of worked out. But I mean, like, either way, it's just more so, again, preservation. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Continue. No, genuinely, yeah. Dimensional Dream, I actually went and bartended there. I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't actually remember if Fo talked to me about how I don't know if he said he wanted to do that bar because of, I don't think it was because of me, but it was like, I remember he came up to me while he was working on it before it was public, and he asked me, I think, Fo, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he came up to me and he asked me, like, hey, what kind of stuff should I have at the bar? Like, right? Because, like, you know, he wanted to ask someone like me, whereas, like, I go to bars all the time, so it's like, what kind of stuff should he have on the bar for the bartender? So I actually told him a few things and gave him a few pointers on, like, what I would say should be behind the bar and stuff. So, yeah, no, he does. I've known him for years. I've known him for a very long time, since I think, like, 2020. Wow, he's one of my regulars.
Wow.
He's one of my regulars to innkeeping. He drops by every so often. He's a cool guy.
I bumped into him through a friend of mine, Lelouch, who does a lot of Christmas parties and Halloween parties and stuff like that. And he's a good friend of mine, and that's how I found out, because I was wondering, I'm like, just remind me of someone, and we talked about it. I'm like, and I talked to him about Lelouch and stuff, and we kind of went back and forth, like, we just never really got formally acquainted enough to really, add as friends and stuff like that. So it kind of just fell in lap, and then I never did get to see him again, because of course I didn't. But a friend of mine showed me their world. I immediately got interested. I found their name on the board, and I looked up, and they were already following me. So I DM'd them. I took a picture of me with like like a wink. It's like a big fan of your bar, and he's like, "That's a lot coming from you. Thank you so much."
Yeah.
You know, that was and so and then I started like, "I've got some business for you if you'd like to hear me out." So then we kind of just
Yeah.
start talking.
That actually goes great into the next point of the conversation. When I emailed you, first off, I emailed you with the expectation that I have never met you before, like never, because I didn't know who you were, right? Like this is like I knew this was the owner of the Midnight Bar, but when you told me that we've actually met before at my bartending session, I was like, what, really? We have? And then you told me your name. You don't have to say your name if you don't want to. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, of course.
But I remember you told me your name when you told me what session we met at, and I remember like it kind of clicked in my mind, like, oh, I kind of remember now. Like I remember someone named that, but it's been so long that the details are very fuzzy. I could probably go on my VOD.
I gave you the description of the world.
Yeah, and that was
there's like a little thing
and
in
I
the
instantly
back
knew what it was.
with
yeah.
the film.
And I could dig through my VOD channel and try and find it, but I have like 600 plus videos of bartending VODs from
you won't find it.
2019, so I don't think I'm gonna find it. But I was like, whoa, I can't believe I've actually met you before. This is like incredible. And one of my questions was gonna be, did I influence? Wait, no, this is actually the next question. I'm just gonna ask it, and then you could tell me what your answer is.
Sure.
What got you interested in doing bartending in VRChat? I think you might have answered this already, but what got you interested in doing the bartending?
So, what really got me interested is actually my mother too. She has been a bartender for, if there's any Canadians, especially Ontarians in the chat, of a place called the Keg, which is like a 3.5, 4-star restaurant. And one of the best places about the Keg is lobster and the steak, of course, because it's a steakhouse, but the bar scene there has always been a very like luxurious one. But it was a thing that my mom has done for over 30-40 years, and for some reason I loved going to the bars. I was only like a kid, I was like 15, 16, but my mom, it was a family restaurant. It's still a family restaurant through and through. And I would just sit there, I'd play the table games. I'll have the little, we'll play some I don't know what's a good example.
What's called
Bubble Bobble, I guess there was like that. There was gin rummy games. There's like shuffleboard, all in a video thing. So I did that while I was waiting for my mom to get off of work so I could go home with her. And I didn't really think about it in VR. I really just enjoyed the scene. And when I mentioned about my medical condition, for people who don't know, I have hemophilia, which is a genetic disorder that if I get cut, I keep bleeding until I've got nothing left. So I just die. I just flat out on the floor, I die. So I take IVs to help combat that missing clotting factor. And recently there's been a new drug that makes it so that a severe type of hemophiliac can go down to mild, which makes it better. I actually feel more normal. When I told my mom that, it made her so happy. Imagine you're a dad or a mom, and your son has hemophilia, because men can only get it, women can carry it, but they can't have it, but it's by birth. Is saying, hey, I feel normal for once. There is no cure. This is something that's a genetic type of medicine they were working on, stem cell research kind of stuff, and yeah, it has helped me feel normal, not requiring to have it through my veins. I can just take it through a major muscle, and it's not as painful. So I've taken needles since I was born 3 times a week. I've had over 10,000 needles in my veins, blood work, you name it, and I just soldiered through it. I wasn't even supposed to live past 12.
Ooh.
I'm 37, so I've gone this far, and I am very lucky to be at the position I am, of amazing individuals and meeting so many people like TFM Johnny and Ayumi and
Johnny.
some other people that I've seen. Yeah, I worked with him with VRChat. Super nice guy. But try not to get on the tangent, but people
fair.
like that, and the people that I've met because of this bar and because of my community giving me the money to do the things like this, because the Valhalla drinks weren't even here at the start. They were actually, it required like $500 to get that through, and then 2 people both gave the total amount in a day. In 24 hours, I just had 500. So, and they were bartenders in the bar because they really loved the game, and I'm like, I really love the game. I want them in here, and two people did it. Boom. So, yeah.
Yeah. No,
So I'm very fucking.
That's phenomenal. Yeah. Well, I was just curious, like where your bartending came from. That's a very interesting story. For me, it was I kind of just stumbled on it because we're talking like, so I made the Wanderer back in March 2018, and because I wanted a place in VRChat to call my own, like my own place I could point at and be like, this is my place. I own this. And I liked hanging out there and such. And then, time passes, October 2018 comes around, and I do a Halloween update for the map, and I get like 80 people in the instance. And that was when I realized how much I enjoyed hanging out with a lot of people in my own world, like how much I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, okay, I want to hang out with people in my own instance. And I also want to hang out in publics more because I hadn't been to public instances since like the start of 2018 at this point.
Yeah.
And I merged them together. And I was like, okay, I'll hang out in a public instance of my world, and I'll kind of add on some extra fluff. I'll just put on like a uniform and basically run the inn, essentially.
That's exactly why I said I'd rather you stream it, because then you get your amazing community here, and
that's so true.
It's nothing like in all honesty, like I said to you in DM, is that I feel at home when I stream. When I'm feeling stressed out, my chat is then there for me. There's times where my chat dies and stuff, and it could feel a little bit, mentally. I always have a lot of self-doubt that I might feel boring or stuff like that, and it always happens. But there's people out there that think, hey, I love your streams. Hey, you're amazing. I'm just lurking, because then it dawns on me a lot of the times. A lot of them just watch it and they love it, or they watch my VODs. I get anywhere between like 20 to 100 plus viewers of my entire VODs on YouTube, which is amazing. And so just to know that they love my streams that much is so heartwarming. And having the people there to chat with you, to keep the conversation going, is the most fun thing I could ever experience. And yes, I don't drink alcohol. I mean, I could drink a little, but I choose not to, unless it's a special occasion like wedding, to respect. But it's just more so of the vibe and the energy of what a bar brings. You can have a really good experience in the bar one night, getting great tips, and just have a phenomenal time. And it's like nothing I've ever felt. And that is something that I feel is more important than anything when you have a community like that comes with you. So hearing you getting like 80 people, and it just reminds me of the one time I had my bar open. It was public. I had so many people, and it was so chaotic. As much as I loved it, it got a little too overwhelming, and that's why I started having to monetize a little bit. But people understood that, and people loved that. So again, I feel you entirely when it comes to that. The energy and the excitement of feeling I love doing what I do, because people are there for me. People watch me for who I am, and not just because I'm playing a video game or, doing my birthday. They just genuinely like to relate to the person they're listening to. So that's where I get all those lurkers, and the lurkers are also a very important part of a streamer's, career, especially when you get to partner, things like that.
Yeah, so
they're amazing.
Yeah, a lot of things to unpack there. Oh wait, where do I start? Yeah, so like early on when I started doing the innkeeping, which by the way I should specify for viewers, when I say innkeeping, it's basically the same as bartending, except it's at my own world, which is an inn. It's a little bit. I love that though. The terms are kind of like interchangeable for me personally. But when I started innkeeping, I also started streaming, and my philosophy for streaming my sessions was there will probably be people who may want to join, but they cannot. Or I want to save the VOD for later if a funny moment happens, and then I can maybe make a funny like video and stuff. Now, I will admit, when I first started streaming and I first started doing my bartending, I was kind of desperate for attention. And I have a very funny story. I don't tell people this often, but I have a very funny story. So when I first started bartending and innkeeping, I was thinking to myself, how do I get more people to come to my bar? How do I get more people to come to my inn? And in my mind, the first thing I thought of was, what if I get a content creator that I like who does VRChat stuff to come to visit the inn, even if it was like off stream or like whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but like, so what I did, this is a real story, by the way, you can verify it yourself. I made a Twitter account. I did not have Twitter before October 2018. I made a Twitter account, and first thing I did, I messaged, I don't know if you know who Kraken3 is.
It sounds familiar.
He is he's a million subscriber channel on YouTube now. He has done VRChat stuff in the past.
Oh, Kraken. Wait, is it Left 4 Dead stuff that he used to do?
Yes,
like a long time ago.
Like Kraken's Coliseum, stuff like that. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Kraken,
okay, so this is a real story.
Oh God,
I messaged my first tweet. You can verify this yourself if you would like. My first tweet is pinging Kraken, being like, "Hey, I run this in VRChat. Did you want to come visit?" And he responds, and this is what he said. He said, "Do you have any videos?" And in that moment, I thought to myself, I was like, oh my gosh, I just realized I need to have something I could show to people.
A portfolio.
If I want. Yeah, a portfolio, basically. So I told him like, no, I don't, but I can make some. And then the next like month and a half, every week I'm releasing an Innkeeping highlight video for like a month and a half afterwards. Those are the first like cool. 6 videos on my YouTube channel as well. If you can always go look back at those. But yeah, no, I know what it feels like when you want to be big, you want to have people coming to the bartending and stuff. And over time, my friends have been very supportive, and my community has grown very slowly. We get about, I want to say, 15 to 30 people average bartending and innkeeping sessions. We can get more depending on if it's like a certain night. When we do Shaggy Claws, which Shaggy Claws is our Christmas event in December, and this is actually really fun. I'm going to tell a story. The last session of innkeeping / bartending I do in the year is our Shaggy Claws session. Now, what this is we do a normal innkeeping session. Obviously, you have the Christmas decorations up. This is at the end of December, maybe like December 15th, 16th, roughly, we're talking. And my friend Sam Ethan 1, I'm going to plug his channel, he's kind of known for being shaggy in VRChat a bit. Like, that's kind of what he was known for. And he wanted to do a bit where he would dress his Shaggy avatar as Santa Claus and then fly a sleigh to the Wanderer Inn during a public bartending session, and then, be like Santa, right? No, it gets better. Right. So what happened was I overhyped people too much, because he told me he was going to do this, and I was like, okay, guys, Santa Claus is coming to the inn, and everybody freaked out. I'm not like, it was amazing. It was hilarious. We had at least like 60 people there, and I was telling everybody, okay, guys, Santa Claus is going to be coming to the Wanderer in just a bit, so please be nice. And then what happens is, when they noticed him join the world and was flying his sleigh, because he was flying his sleigh like really high, like the Wanderer's right here. He was flying his sleigh he was going to land on the roof, because we had set up a runway for him to land on in the world. My patrons started shooting at him, like shooting guns and like bullets and beams of rays at him while he was flying to the inn. And I found it really funny.
Okay.
No, it gets better. Yeah. And then he lands, and then he comes down, and then he sits down in his chair on the first floor. We get a whole line, and then everybody goes up to him and asks him what they want for Christmas. And like, they sit on his lap and everything. It's a phenomenal event. But we have been doing this. We have been doing this for the past, I might need a fact check on this, I believe December 2020, and then every year afterwards.
Wow.
The past like 4 years. And it has become a tradition.
You're coming up to your 4th year?
Yeah, we're coming up on our 4th year. Yeah, we will be having Shaggy Claus of the Wanderer this December. If you want to meet Santa Claus in a public instance, there you go. But we it has become a tradition for my patrons to line up outside the building, and then once he starts flying towards the inn, they all shoot open fire. They just try and shoot him down. And then the moment that he lands on top of the building, it's like home run, like base. You know what I mean? Like, just like, you're good to go. He's safe. And then like, it just goes as normal.
That's so cute. That's so
yeah.
neat.
I honestly forgot why I went on this tirade, but yeah, it was very. Oh yeah, because I was talking about streamer stuff.
Yes, of course.
But
Feel free to, whatever this is, please drop me by. I might want to check it out.
Absolutely, yeah. Usually it's always going to be the last innkeeping session of the year, which is in December. It's usually going to be about the second week of December on a Friday. That's usually what we go for. So yeah, by all means, you'll probably see an announcement about it on Twitter or something like that. But like I said, it's always phenomenal. It's so much fun.
I'll put it on my whiteboard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I talk about this because I was talking about like numbers and such. Like, I understand, like, especially as someone who's been streaming for 6 years now, like, my average viewer is usually about 5, and it's always been like that. And I don't have anyone to blame but myself, because I've never really tried growing. I've always just been in my lane, just doing my innkeeping and bartending and just streaming. I've never tried doing like posting more on Twitter or, you know, maybe doing collabs. That's kind of why I'm really happy to be doing something like this, because up until like the past like half year, up until like recently, I've kind of just still had that mindset, but now it's like I want to try and do more collabs. I want to try and do more like advertising. I want to try and be more like a proper content creator, which is why I'm trying to do the monthly innkeeping video and then streaming a bit more regularly with other games and just kind of chilling and relaxing. And we still do the bartending and innkeeping every week, so it's like,
I'm the same way. I stay in my lane. I play it safe too. I just kind of added a little bit more. Because I feel that sometimes I'm worried of, you know, I think I get fixated sometimes about being a partner if I want to get more people, but then I think to myself sometimes, I don't mind a lot of the times being in a position I am now where people are like, you should have more. Why isn't this bar giving you more viewers and stuff? A lot of people just don't like watching on Twitch. It is a very surprisingly select few compared to like something on YouTube when you're already there, right? Like I'll throw in a TikTok vid clip of my stuff, and you know I'm a lazy person, I get that. But I mean, Twitch has already come up with the clips thing where you can make a portrait one and edit it, which thank God they did, because I was paying for a service called Streamladder for a while, so that saved me a whole lot of money added up. And I'm just thankful for what I have. I have every possible opportunity to do it, but I'm also scared, just like you were mentioning, of it being so popular that you wouldn't be able to control the amount of people in. Like the way I do the people coming in my bar is they add me as a friend, and then I usually get a check through my my Discord. Because when people link their Discord with their Twitch, and my mods, I'll say that my mods will check to see if they are a subscriber on there. And if they're not, then they'll usually say, "Are you linked? Are you in the Discord? Are you linked?" You know, and then that way it's a good way for my mods to be able to do something. Because let's be real, our mods help us out so many things, so many times that absolutely they're the real G's. Like my philosophy is I do a thing called Mod of the Month. From time to time, if I'm making a good amount of money, I usually give it to one of my mods who works the hardest. And what I'll do is I'll give them like a $25 Canadian gift card to Steam or something like that every month, as something as a little incentive. And then sometimes I'll do mod appreciation nights. And then I'll also drop another $25 gift card in a wheel for all my mods that are there, regardless if they are there or not, to say thank you. And because that's my philosophy, people are working to do it, and they're serious about the streamer, and once the success of that streamer, they'll go out and beyond for them, staying in the chat, talking to people, doing the call outs, keeping an eye on the monitoring, because it's very hard to keep people with the mod status to do the work, especially when you get bigger. You got to be more serious, right? And all my mods are great people. Some do my night shifts because sometimes I'll do impromptu streams, and then they'll be like 2 in the morning because I just want to. But yeah, it's those little things to really appreciate, you know, what they do, and what they want the success of the streamer to be a partner or to have monetization, and to help them live, you know. And so it's one of the things that are very precious to me now.
I completely understand. For me, it's like, because like my small size, I only have one moderator, Miyazaki, in the chat. They have been absolutely phenomenal.
I feel I've been watching them. They're very amazing.
Moderator on Twitch, because I have moderators in the group when I'm doing group instances, but like Miyazaki is currently my only like moderator. And the thing is, I've never had a reason to get more, because like we don't really have to do it that much, to be honest, because of my small size. But yeah, it really does tie into, if I were to grow somehow, am I going to have to scale things up? Like, am I going to change things? So it's always been like a flip-flop of like, I'm kind of okay being small. Wouldn't mind being big though. I'm okay with being small. Same with the chat. Like, I mean, yeah, like sometimes I look at chat and there's not much happening, and that's okay with me. I've gotten so used to it, it doesn't really bother me.
I mean, deep down you feel it. Sometimes it can't.
I mean, you do, but then for me, it's like I'm already talking to people in VRChat, so like if I don't feel lonely. It is definitely just like, because I think for me it's like, I view the stream as a tool for people who can't join the session. So I'm not really too sad when there's not many people there, because a lot of my community members are already at the innkeeping and bartending chatting with me. Now, when I'm playing like a
Yeah.
desktop game or something like that, then yeah, like it might be a little bit,
Right.
you know, a little bit like kind of might be suck, like oh, there's no one there. But that's also okay because you kind of just have to be good at talking to yourself when you're doing this kind of stuff a lot of the time.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
So that's another thing too. No. I mean, I don't know if there's any also streamers that do stream as well in the chat or watching this, but of course this is on YouTube.
This will be a VOD on my YouTube VOD channel. Yes.
Okay. So one of the things is trying to viewership outside of what people know you for.
Mhm.
Like with me, with VRChat, I'll get so many people, and then I'm doing something else.
Yeah, it's just like
lowest 18,
yeah.
gone. And that actually makes me like express my to some points because it like they're just there for VRChat. There's sometimes I'm not there with me, and I tell all the filter between two lines. And the ones who say the other 18 people, it's one of those things where you just really are thankful for them, the ones that actually care about you.
Oh, one sec. Let me They're saying the audio is messing up. One sec. I don't know. It's not. It seems to be fine on Twitch on my OBS. I'm not noticing any audio being muted. Audio issues. Okay, I'll give it a second here because it might just be some weird stuff going on. Because I can hear you just fine, and the OBS is apparently able to hear VRChat. So thank you guys for pointing that out. I appreciate it. I'll give that a second. Is it still going on? It's on and off the last minute. Okay, we'll give it a second to kind of stabilize because I don't know why it would suddenly start going kind of haywire. I'm getting no issues on. It's only MIV's audio. Oh, it's only your audio. Okay, so they sound fine to me. So that's weird. Let me turn some audio settings real quick here. Yeah, I've had this happen before with someone, but I don't know what the solution was. I'm gonna like turn audio kind of world audio a little bit down, and then I'm just gonna make sure you're not too crazy. Yeah, because I don't have earmuffs on or anything, so.
I wonder how the recording is gonna sound.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll subtitle it. Yeah, that's also another thing. I'm not gonna go in too much into conversation because they're probably still having audio issues. But sometimes when I don't have that many viewers, or like any at all, like sometimes I might not notice an issue with the stream until like someone mentions it. It's always just like, I get that paranoid feeling. So it's like, ugh.
And that happened, what, guys, in the chat? It was like an hour, and because I've been watching, we're at an hour 45.
It doesn't even, it just happened. They were just mentioning it, so I'm assuming it just happened. So yeah. I could rejoin.
Maybe if I, funny enough. Come rejoin.
Okay,
yes.
I'm gonna rejoin real quick, guys, and we'll see if that fixes it. Yeah, it might just be some weird jank going on with my end or something. So one sec. All right, we're gonna rejoin real quick here. Give me a moment. It just happened. Okay. Well, we're gonna rejoin just to be safe. Thank you so much for telling me, guys. So hi, TuneIt. I saw you there earlier. I didn't get to say hi, TuneIt, but hello, TuneIt. All right, let's get you guys back in here in 1 sec. Okay, it's sounding okay now. Yeah, it just might be a fluke. So I just wanted to rejoin just in case. So there we go. All right, we are back. Give me a moment. It's still going to be pitch black for a moment here while we're loading back in. I'm having fun so far. This is a great conversation. Welcome back. Thanks. Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. I am back. Okay, they said that it's fixed now, so I think we should be fine. So let me get the camera back on the stream camera, which it's gonna be I forgot I have to turn the settings back off. 1 sec. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. All right, we're gonna look funky for a moment. Do I have a pin for this? I should have saved the pin. No, it's okay. I could just reset it back up. It's fine. There you get a nice close-up of mid there for a moment while I'm flying the camera back. There you go.
How do I sound now, guys?
I think they said you sounded fine right before I left, so it looks like it's okay now. So I think it was just a minor, like, little fluke or something. Yeah, it happens.
Okay. I know, like, funny enough, like, with Discord, like, if you're streaming audio after a while, like, a movie or something. Oh,
yes, exactly.
What will happen is it'll start
break the audio.
Crackling. Yeah, but then after about a minute, it'll just kind of recover itself.
Yeah, they said they can
know what that is.
That's perfect.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, welcome back,
Cool.
guys.
It's funny. You came back. You came back, and now you're in error, which is, by the way, VRChat's fault.
Do I need to change my avatar to fix that for you?
See if that does something. I'm kind of
Okay,
curious because that's just a recent since the update.
I did notice that it was mainly the imposters. Okay, so I changed. Do I look like someone else now?
Yes.
This is
Yep.
Bonzo Haka from
Yep.
Hollow Stars. Sorry, it's a long story. There you go.
There you go. Fixed.
There you go. I look better now.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go. Let's
cool,
get back
cool.
on what we
Thank
were
you, thank
talking about. Like, I completely understand.
Go ahead.
With like the less viewership and stuff. I have that with Actually, I kind of don't, because to be honest, I have like the same amount of viewers I do when I usually play desktop games versus when I bartend. I never really get past 5 to 6 average viewers, and I don't mind. Like right now, I mean, obviously I would love growth, but you know, it's just it's like a double-edged sword. Being more famous means like you can maybe support yourself with this kind of stuff and bring in more people, but it also means you have a target on your back. So I've been very conflicted about how I wanted to pursue that.
That's the same way I feel. I feel the same way on that.
Okay, someone just asked a question. Did you want to answer that? I'll let you decide if you want to answer that question.
Yeah.
So
I know he's actually one of my friends. That's Earthbound. So question from the Jackie's Cafe. Oh yes. So what we're doing for that is mostly it's the Topola Theater. So we're actually going to go for the Topola Theater for this one, and it's just going to be kind of like the Apollo Theater from New York, or in New York, the actual real life one. So it's going to have, of course, you can see Foresight in the distance. It's going to be at night. We have ideas of like police cars blocking it, so you only can get into it, just to kind of focus more on that. But you're going to see the entire like cityscape of Foresight before you go in as a spawn. So very, very cool. Retaining the pixels art of Earthbound, but making it kind of like this, where it's that kind of same vibe. But we're trying to go for more of a jazz kind of club, or more of like, you know, for theater, acting, singing, talent shows, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, so that's your upcoming map project that you mentioned earlier. Is that correct? Just wanted to make sure.
Yes, that's one of my
That's
map
cool.
projects.
See, like,
yeah.
I actually have some other map projects I'm working on myself. I'm actually working on a spooked. Don't worry about that. I'm actually working on a spooktality map right now with 2 of my friends. It's kind of the first time I've done like a project with other people for a world. So, unfortunately, 3D modeling has been I've been kind of burnt out on it recently because I've been doing so much of it for this. So I've just been trying to deal with that. But I also have a pizzeria I was making in VRChat for my pizza delivery streams I do in VRChat, because I have a stream that I do it's usually the first Wednesday of each month where I do pizza delivery in VRChat. So my viewers can redeem channel points to have me go to a location to deliver pizza. And I've been sent to the Five Nights at Freddy's daycare world multiple times to deliver pizza. So it's not what you would expect. So yeah. But also I have this one concept, and I'm not going to go too much into this, but I kind of like I don't know if you know what Hollow Stars is. It's
Hollow Stars,
the male branch of Hollow Live. It's
yeah, more in the female
yeah,
side of
see,
stuff.
that's like most people of that, but like I actually like Hollow Stars a lot and like watching them, and I wanted to make VRChat worlds for each one of the talents from scratch. That they could use on their streams, and as a portfolio piece as well. So for my portfolio,
of course. Good
so
idea.
that is a future project I'm going to start working on. Hopefully after this current one I'm working on right now.
You should also contact HoloLive and HoloStar actually as they're in their marketing, and ask them if it's okay, like their office. To
I
see if it's
did.
cool,
They have like an inquiry on their website. You can send like inquiries to them about. I sent that, but I never got a response back. I don't think they get that kind of stuff. I don't know. Like I could ping them on Twitter, I guess, but
best thing to do is just show, and hopefully that it gets enough eyes that they'll
like, because the thing is,
at it.
I wasn't too worried about it, because like I know like with Midnight, you know, you got to talk with the creator and it was okay. Like for me, I feel like like I'm not making money off of these worlds. I'm just making them and then releasing them, and they're kind of like fan art. So I'm assuming they'll be okay. But I mean, obviously, if they tell me not to do it, I'm not gonna do it. So, but yeah, sorry. Since we were talking about future map projects, I know what you mean, and I have to balance that alongside bartending.
I mean, I have other ones. I have one that I wanted to do with someone for Split Second, an old racing game that was unfortunately canned or a sequel was canned, but Disney was the one publishing it. and some people might know that game, but I won't get into too many details because that's something I do want to have for a surprise down the road if I ever get to that point. But right now, the biggest one is Earthbound. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna bring us back, bring us back a bit, because
Of course.
I was
Let's
having
go
fun
back.
talking about that. It was very fun talking about the worlds and stuff. So, because trust me,
Yeah,
I have a few to do.
gotcha.
So I have another question here. You might have already answered this one.
Of course.
I'm gonna ask it anyway, just in case. Do you have a history of bartending in VRChat beyond this world, or was this the first time you did bartending in VRChat?
So I mean, before this bar, I did have the other bars, the one Wiggly made me and the one that Steins had, and I did that for a little bit, and it took a year before I actually got really into this one for the rest of what I'm doing now. And yeah, it's been now since I started in 2021, so now coming up to 3 years.
Ooh, you're catching up. You'll get there one day.
Yeah.
You're catching up.
Yeah, one day.
That's okay. Yeah, that's cool to hear. Cause funny enough, I actually did bartend at a Valhalla World once, and it was back in 2020, and I still have the VOD on my channel, and I actually looked back at it, and it was you spawn, and the door is like here, and it's like a hallway, and you walk out, and the bar is like to your right, and it's kind of like not a big room or anything. And behind the bar, there's like a couple drinks, but they're not really like poured drinks.
Yes, and it has the menu, or not the menu, but the control panel.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Oh, that's one of my other mods.
Hi.
Yeah, and then it has boss at the far end, like the office. That's the one I used.
Okay, so I actually bartended there. Yeah, I bartended there once back in 2020.
Science.
Yep. Long time ago. Because I actually went there.
We actually got in touch with him afterwards because he found out that I was working on Wigan. He was kind of interested, and my friend Dream told me that they were, because of me, I think it was, they were interested in working on it again and updating it, but then I don't think they ever did. I haven't checked. I hope they do, because it's a great world. It's compact, it's cute, it has everything you need. And it's got the bedroom upstairs. I was like, oh, good. Yay. Private room. No thanks. It just wasn't my thing.
Fair.
But yeah, I used that for a year. And then I used my friend Wiggly's for about 8, 9, like almost a year. And then I went to the Midnight Bar, as you see here.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so long ago I went there. It's like 2020. Oh my gosh. Fucking long. That's actually funny enough. That session, when I was doing that Midnight Bar session a long time ago, that's actually where I met Spooky Ghost Boo, the owner of the Black Cat. I actually met them during that session. That's why I first met her.
Oh, I haven't met them.
She joined during my session. I got to talk to her for a bit, and she was like, "Oh, I know the Wanderer. I love that world." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." I find it funny. Like sometimes I run into.
Isn't it amazing when you get?
Yeah, I run into people like, because I think the Wanderer's not really that popular of a world. I mean, it's old, and like it has. I don't even know if I could check how many viewers it has at this point, but. It has like 100,000 visits, but the thing to understand with that is I've been going there weekly for like 6 years, so that's why it's built up. Otherwise, it would probably have like barely any visits, right? But I always found it amazing when I run into people and they tell me about how the Wanderer is so nostalgic to them. And it's just like, oh, I'm very flattered. Thank you. I'm still working on it. It's still coming along. So, and people always like find that interesting. So it's incredible. And I know you probably had that too, because you the Midnight Bar. So it's like, oh, I love your world.
Sometimes
it's so nice.
I'll come in. The best thing too, actually, funny thing is that when I go to visit some of the worlds, a lot of people don't even realize, looking above me, like my up to my name, and looking at the status message, because some people forget you can turn on that, so it's always on. So usually they'll say age, verification, blah blah blah. So I'll give them a date, and then I throw in, and I'm also the owner of the Midnight Bar, and then they're going, wait a minute. And they look at my they look at my bio, and they're like, I am so sorry. I love it every time. It's like I was young again and getting my ID.
Yeah.
I don't have that happen anymore because I got old enough, but it's still a wonderful thing. But yeah, people say I love your world. I mean, I've had, again, the composer of Valhalla, a big fan of my my world, and some of the Sukaban staff also said the same thing.
That's nice.
And even the emotes that I have had done by some of my artist friends that are basically pixel. I think I see Solid in there. You can show if you want to. Solid, you want to show, or DJ, you want to show some of the Valhalla emotes that I have? Those ones are Orcas. I mean, they're all subscribers in my on my or my not my Discord. I'm sorry, my Twitch channel.
Yeah.
And they're all well made. And Kyrian, again, the creator, he said he's a big fan of the emotes I got done. So that was an honor to hear that from him. And I'm trying to get as many of the emotes or characters from the game as I possibly can from the list of what we got for animated emotes. So I have another 3 coming up really soon, and that is a September goal that we reached. So yeah, it's actually really cool. Actually, you know what? I'm in the chat too. I think everyone's.
That's perfectly fine. Yeah, no rush, no rush.
There you go. And then go ahead, continue.
Gosh, I hate when I like lose my train of thought. I'll talk about September for a second because I have seen your progress on that. It's one of those things where, like, once again, it's for me, it's the same conversation we had as Fourth Wall. Yeah, those look really good actually. Okay, the one with the dude doing like the sprite, the like drink. I just think that's Steve Harvey.
Yeah, that's O'Donovan.
I know
yeah,
that's
Jonathan O'Donovan.
Yeah, I know it's not Steve Harvey, but I see that and I have like that mustache. I'm just like, that's got to be Steve. no.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, but with September, so going back on like the streamer stuff for a second with bartending. Of
course.
It's the same conversation about like Fourth Wall, where it's like I feel like I was too small to do it. I just don't like. I'm also just busy, so I can't do that kind of stuff. But I feel like maybe if I do put in like a bit more of the work to like do more stuff and like make it more legitimate as a creator, maybe getting more emotes commissioned, getting some artwork commissioned, getting better like stream graphics commissioned. Because to be honest, for anyone that was here when I started the stream, there was that starting soon screen that I've had that since like 2019.
Yeah.
From a friend that made that for me. I've like not tried, and I've not like my mindset was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But now I'm kind of like, I want to give off that air of legitimacy with like making things a little bit more like homey.
Changing it up.
Yeah, make it like maybe try to make people feel like they're a patron at the end kind of thing, like and Welcome to the Wanderer kind of such. So, yeah, it's just like, especially in the past few months, that's when I've gotten a bit more serious about it. Like I actually got around to finally commissioning stuff, and I've been getting more used to it. I've got 2 good reviews on VGen as a commissioner, because I commissioned
the two high reviews from Yelp. Sorry, I'm thinking about
exactly. Like yeah. Because I use VGen for commissioning artists and stuff. So I commissioned a new stream schedule graphic, and then I commissioned a thumbnail for a video that I had made. But yeah, honestly, that for you guys that saw the Twitter announcement, like the PNG of you, that made me think of like I should probably sit down and have an artist commission like a full body like sketch of me, just so I could send that to people in the same situation as you, because as long as I've been bartending and stuff in VRChat, I've always had this thought in the back of my head of like, if I ever get invited to one of those VRChat talk shows, I don't know which ones, like I guess virtual reality show,
Rebel,
or that too, or like if I ever get invited to talk on one of those shows, then I'm just sitting there like, I've made it, I've done it. I've reached the pinnacle. Like I've reached the goal. You know what I mean? It's like I've become so well known that I'm being invited to talk shows to talk to people. So one day maybe, me being like technically one of the oldest bartenders in VRChat, maybe one day, but I still got to get on that grind and actually advertise myself more for sessions and whatnot. So that's why I'm doing this, because like I said, I wanted to talk to you about the bartending scene of VRChat, and I guess we can.
I wanted you to stream,
and I guess I should get on that a bit more, because we've been having some great conversations so far. I do have another question here.
Of course, go for it.
So the other question I had, this is the last one I have written down, but we can still have a few more things I could probably ask. What do you think? Like, what do you think of the jobs of a bartender when they're doing this in VRChat? Like, in your mind, like, what do you think that job is?
It can be very tiring. I mean, especially depending on a person's social battery, right? Everyone is different on that. Some people are new, don't even know. It might be able to last for 30 minutes, maybe last for 6 hours. I knew someone in one of the bars I went into that were in that bar, the same instance, for 12 hours straight. just consistently working it. And I was like, my friend, it must be hot in your room because, I mean, being on a computer and the fact that VRChat is very heavy
Yeah.
GPU, or not, sorry, CPU focused, it can cause a lot of heat. Like even me, my CPU on my computer right now is like about 70 degrees Celsius, which is still relatively good because I'm on a 13900K, which is a very expensive processor, but it's also known to heat up. It does keep me warm at night though during the winter. It saves me having to use a heating heater when I'm in VR, so that's a great thing. But in the summer, I have to have like 3 or 4 fans going at it. But no, either or. It's just I've had people going through and just go like amazing. Some of them will actually do multitasking and be able to do that. Meanwhile, me and how I do things, I always have to have a menu in my front of my peripheral on my on my overlay, just because there's so many drinks. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with the first page and Valhalla drinks, and if you want these other ones, you can talk to the other bartenders that actually know, because there's just way too many.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the person, but I've seen some really like amazing talented people mixing drinks into like multiple ones into like a whole new kind of thing. One person made Mickey Mouse, or one person made like call it Rocket Head, which is just basically like 288s, and like combining those to make new drinks and then use them for their bar as their way to do it. And I believe Last Call was the first one to do it. It was just really neat how these groups and bartenders come up with these, and also let alone just remember all this. I am very, very shocked and very proud of them, because that takes up a lot of dedication and time to do things like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's quite a lot to unpack there. That's really interesting though. Oh yeah, you said someone had done like a 12-hour session before. I can relate. During one of my anniversary, like the anniversary of like my innkeeping and stuff, I did an 8-hour session of innkeeping, and I regularly do 4-hour sessions. Like that's like the length of my innkeeping and bartending sessions is 4 hours, and I find that 4 hours is a great middle ground, because it's long enough that it doesn't feel too short, like, oh, it's already done, but it's short enough that you don't feel like it's going to take up the whole day. So like 4 hours is like a great time frame for me personally, so I completely understand.
Yeah, like me, I usually do 3 to 4. It's usually majority 3, but if I'm having a really good time, like I do with my just chatting streams, like off of VR, I can go on for like 6.
Oh,
and then I'm good.
See,
on a good day,
I don't do just chatting streams, because to be honest, like I don't really like my view. Like I said, my view count's only like 4 or 5. And to be honest, I just don't think my just chatting streams would really do anything. Like, and also I suck at talking about things. Like I bounce off people really well when it comes to conversations, but man, sometimes just finding things to talk about is just so difficult. Ugh, it's like you really just gotta do it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you've got to improv it. So sometimes, like I said, miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Sometimes it's best just to do it, just to find people that prefer just chatting. There are viewers that only do just chatting. They like to talk to people. They don't like watching people play the games. They're not into VR chat. They just want a just chatting stream where you're able to just kind of, like you said, bounce off a person, even if you don't have a lot of people. The best people to help out with that is your mods.
Oh yeah,
right? Mods can come in, they can talk with you back and forth, and that can keep it, again, mods being the real G's here. Or just thinking, if you had 100 people, don't look at the numbers, just do what you do best, and it will usually bring in new people. Because that's what you're missing. Just because you think don't think about the numbers. Think about more so of you take a hit, but you're potentially gaining new people from another category that might end up going to what you do best, right? That's the thing, especially when it comes to advertising. You pay money to advertise your product in hopes that it gets engagement, more engagement. You're doing it for yourself to get people to come by.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. Hey, Alex, it keeps making me think of the fourth wall thing, because honestly, after this conversation, I might go email the guy from Fourth Wall. The thing is, I don't really have like art and stuff that I could put onto things for merch and stuff. I was thinking about getting that commission, but I like honestly, it kind of feels so overwhelming.
Just
I don't
get your
even.
logo.
Oh,
Put it on a mug. Put your logo on a mug and do that. That's people have bought my mug, sold it for like $15, and people bought them. That was like one of my hottest ones. Or like my bikini, my glass that I have for my summer that I have.
Oh,
so
bikini.
that one's very popular.
I would not be okay.
it's a
I will say
one-piece one.
I would not be against getting myself on a body pillow and selling it. I will go that.
I do have a
I will
body
go.
pillow.
Yeah, see, exactly. I would
do have
go
that too.
that far. I mean, hell, if I could get like custom Crocs like made, I would love to do that. In fact, I actually emailed Crocs and asked them for a sponsorship. They never replied, but I was like, listen, I wear your Crocs all the time. Give me a sponsorship. You know what I mean?
I had one from an alcohol company actually DM me and just kind of went back and forth on emojis, but I think they were kind of trying to get me to do something and say, hey, what's up, or get them, because I mean, again, a big company. And even though, again, I'm a bartender, but I'm not really an actual bartender. I'm more of the world of the game. I'm a gamer through and through, heart to heart. But it's cool to see that sponsors do come by. And in all honesty, even if I do get a sponsor, I think the only sponsor that I would ever like really want is the companies that I work with, like, or the hardware that I work with.
Yeah.
Like Audio Technica or Logitech, because I use a lot of Logitech stuff. Or even SteelSeries. I've got the ArcDiscs Pro, which is really good. Yeah. Hey, Fo.
Oh,
You're
there
back
he
in the
is.
chat. I see ya.
Yeah, you missed
The
it. We
ego
were
kissing
just
some
we were
shit.
talking about you like however long ago that was. Yeah, Foe's one of my regulars. He's a good friend of mine. I made him the man that he is today. no, but yeah, sponsorship stuff. I've never had to deal with that because I've been so small that no one's messaged me except for Fourth Wall. But like I said, at the time, I was like, I don't think I could do this because I'm just not big enough. My policy with the sponsorships, I think, is it depends on how much they're paying, and it depends on what it is. But most of the time, if it's something I would use, I'll probably do a sponsorship. But if it's something I don't plan on using, then it's like, why would I sponsor it?
Right.
So,
I mean, it's just a merch store. They were just kind of pushing people to check it out for creators of any kind. I already have a sponsor with Poggers, which is like an energy drink company.
Yeah, I've heard that
why not?
energy drinks have been pretty good for like sponsorships for creators and such. Like I see like some of the big VTubers have like in their bio just codes for
subs.
like I don't know if I do that, but I mean that could be beneficial if you feel like it. So you never know.
I mean, I just did it because it was my first one, and I'd like to also. I mean, I haven't had anyone buy any of the product in that, but I'm still honored that these companies
That they would reach out.
I always have my, yeah, exactly, and then I'll mention about Poggers and stuff like that and what they do. I won't put the stuff out for, but I'm just happy with that, and I'm thankful. So
yeah, but
I don't have to worry about
we gotta circle back. I was asking you
Sure.
about like the jobs, the job of a bartender. And
yes,
did you I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if you actually did you answer that or did we go like on a tirade there? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Being a life of a bartender just takes a lot of social battery.
Yeah.
It especially because you need to like go in and multitask good stuff. Killing that bot.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, Miyazaki. I told you that on the trigger finger.
Really good stuff. And yeah, so it's the balancing of socializing and getting all the orders of everyone. And that's like I said, I can do like one thing. I've got a one-track mind. I'm very like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
But that's why I have my mods who are also bartenders that help out with me during my streams. Like Solid, that's in there, and I have another person named Weiss that helps me out with my stuff too.
Yeah. So. Like the reason I asked this question is because I just wanted to get like an understanding of what you consider like what your job should be for bartending. I think you've given a pretty good answer for that. For me,
Caretaker.
For me, I've been really wrestling in my mind with understanding like what is the difference between what I do and what people at Midnight do, right? Because I feel like there's a difference there in terms of the bartending sessions and what they actually entail, because this feels more like an actual bar, and it kind of adheres to that sort of stuff and whatnot. You know what I mean? Whereas for me, it's more like I'm using the bar, but it's more so just a public hangout session, which, like I said, that's why I'm having so much issue kind of understanding if there's a difference, which I don't think there is. I just think the origins of where they started is different, because for me, I didn't start doing it because I wanted to do bartending. I started doing it because I wanted to hang out with people in my own instance and such, in a way. And it's just, yeah, like for me, I feel like my job as a bartender when I do these sessions is making people feel welcomed, greeting them, potentially serving them a drink if they want to, or just chatting with them, just kind of making them feel welcomed, and then giving off that sense of security and sense of like hominess, and making people know like, oh, this instance is safe. Like I'm keeping an eye on it. Like I'm watching it, and all that kind of, yeah, no one being judgmental, all that kind of stuff. And it's like that's what my session has been like for so long now. And I feel like I could still do that even if I had a drink system. It would just be like an extra layer of stuff that would be pretty fun, to be honest, for behind the bar. Because like I said, when I go to bars with barely any functionality, sometimes it can get boring. But I've gotten so used to just standing behind the bar and just talking to people.
That is like whatever.
That it's just like, this is just the norm for me.
It's clockwork.
And I did go to... I think I did go somewhere that had a drink system like this. I forgot what it was called. It's been a while now.
Sunset Bar.
It might have been Sunset. Like I'm not too sure. But I remember when I went there and had a drink system like this, it was the first like hour of the session we were just making drinks. Like it was just making drinks, just having fun with the system. And like it really, the drink making system I think adds on to it, because it gives you like fun stuff you can do, like maybe do a joke or a bit or something. It's honestly really fun. That's why I want to do it in my own world. But unfortunately, I'm a little bit... Thank you whoever followed, by the way. I'll see that in a moment. Oh, Jordan, thank you. But it's one of those things where I'm losing my train of thought. It's one of those things where
I do that too.
I was gonna say something and I went out my ear, so it's gonna come back in just a moment. But yeah, like I said, with bartending, it can get kind of boring, but it's just, as long as I have the bar and I'll get a drink, it's all that really matters. And
exactly, and sometimes you'll meet a unique person that comes by and they give you a really good conversation.
Oh yeah, it's not often I run into...
I've had people that talk to me about mercenaries. Yeah, I've had people that were convicts, mercenaries, police officers, again, working in the military, people that have worked worked in the government, things like that, like really high-profile people. And you know, I have met a couple of people by accident just by walking around. Like I think his name is Twice, I think, or something like that. Twice here. I'm trying to remember. People like Veronica J, and many others. It's really. I mean, I bumped into Rafflegator one time, which is funny. That was something. But yeah, it's just connections, finding the people that you have. They'll talk about like their stories, and yeah, you know Twice too, Fo. Yeah, I met him in a Deluxe Tavern. I was just kind of wanting to go away from my bar because I like Genshin, so I just go to like some of my friends are in the Deluxe Tavern, and Twice was there. I guess he was doing a social experiment or something like that, because seeing him in a Genshin world, I was like, he sounds familiar. I'm like, oh, Twice, yeah. I didn't get starstruck. I can always talk about that in a little bit. I'd rather want you to get through the topics. We can talk about that later if you want.
If we're flexing about people that we know that are famous that have been to the bar, first off, I just want to say, not to start drama. I'm not trying to start drama, but I don't like Rafflegator. But I have a very good reason for it. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I do not like him.
No, don't worry. There's a lot of people. He's a very controversial person.
Well, he's done things to me and my friends personally that I don't like, but I'm not gonna talk about that on stream. But
of course,
in terms of if we're gonna flex our famous people knowledge, how do you Sean VR, SEAN VR? They're a patron at the end.
I follow Sean.
They're a patron at the Wanderer. They come by every so often.
That's
for
cool.
the old people here, Drekwiz comes around every so often.
Yeah, he's also Snow SOS.
He's a great guy. Oh gosh, I met Lalathon once during one of my sessions.
Oh cool.
Unfortunately, I could not talk to him because he's the kind of person where it's like he comes in, he does his bit, and then he's gone, like the wind, just like whoosh. You know what I mean?
Fotazo says in before, yeah, I'm besties with Tupper. I'm actually friends with Tupper.
I have never one-to-one talked with Tupper before. I've only I've only met. I only saw him at my friend Silent's birthday party, and I never got to talk to him. So
Silent. Yeah.
Yeah, Silent's a very close.
Silent's a good friend
Silent's a
of mine too.
very
I
close friend
love
of mine.
Silent.
Yes, I know too.
I mean, we're more like Tupper. We're more acquaintances. I did request a friend, and he said he was cool, but then I realized he didn't. But the man is so busy. Though I did recently
True.
see him for a meeting, because I usually do this because for streamer meetings we get to talk with the devs and stuff
Really?
like that, and get to know.
That's
yeah,
a thing.
Yeah.
I did not know that. They gotta invite me to that. No, I'm joking.
No, but I mean, like it's just the things that we already know, and just say, hey, what would be good to beneficial, and things like that, and nothing like crazy on the sort. But I mean,
Yeah.
I won't say anything because it's
I was gonna say controversial, but no, it's confidential.
Yeah, it's more like NDA kind of thing
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't think we have
You
an
don't have to talk
NDA,
about
but
that, yeah.
I still respect them, and I want people to be surprised. Like the camera in VRChat, where in the open beta now you can
I did
move
see
it to
that.
the side and it moves. So I think one streamer mentioned that. I think also in the meeting, I wasn't there, but things like that are from streamers that give suggestions.
That's
or
very
some
nice.
people that work at VCat that I know. So on
Listen,
and so forth. So.
listen, Tupper, hit me up. I got plenty of things I could suggest, but been bartending for freaking 6 years. I see things. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, Tupper is like, yeah, shoutouts. It's like Tupper comes around to a lot of places. He loves my bar. A lot of people love my bar. And I'm very thankful for it. But again, I don't get starstruck with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because the only time I ever get starstruck if Zentrea comes and says hello, because she's my OG. I love Zentrea. I've watched
she's
her
nice, yeah.
way before I started really doing a lot of, the streaming that she used to. She used to do RP. Here in VRChat with the non-loot army, I think it was called, and she was also good friends with my friend Curry Games, who does a lot of
them. Yeah.
VR RP stuff, and they used to hang out, and she actually visited him during his birthday party, and Tupper is just VRChat Jesus. It's an all of a combined team. It's not just him, it's Straz, which, by the way, Straz's avatar is also done by Murray.
True.
And that's the cool thing. So, I mean, like, everyone's working together to make VRChat, welcoming.
Yeah.
But, for the famous thing, back to the topic on that, it's just, when you have things like this happen, it's like a bar. Sometimes you'll meet a famous person. Like, example one, in Valhalla, you meet Kira Miki, who is a idol. She's got millions of people that listen to her. She's like Katy Perry kind of thing, and she comes to the bar because she wants a place to feel at home, that there isn't like thousands of people just eyeing on her, and she just starts loving the people in there. That she comes back again, and that's the same kind of feeling we get here. We get a lot of famous people in this bar.
That's nice.
And I mean, when TFM Johnny told me how much he loved the bar and what it was, it's one of those things where I wish I could just put pictures, kind of like the old jazz clubs where they have all famous people like BB King or
Yeah, it's just like on the wall.
Yeah, and have them like sign it and kind of give that history, that rich history of all the musicians that come in. Is the same kind of thing, just in a more of the social platform. But yeah,
like all the people that I mentioned, like I said, they all just kind of showed up randomly at the innkeeping, which I find so surprising, because compared to Midnight, what I do is basically like unknown, like nobody knows about it. Like that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, because it's like,
I mean, I did.
That's true. That is true. We found that out. But the thing is, when people say bartending in VRChat, what they think of is Valhalla, right? Like that's how it is now. And nobody remembers poor old Wildclaw, who's been doing this for years. It's okay though. It's okay. No, I
think it was more. I think the reason where the popularity also worked is that there's already a lot of Valhalla fans that existed in VRChat. It just needed to get
it just needed to be manifested.
Kicked, and this bar was the one that kicked it.
Yeah.
And because we get a lot of like alarmingly amount of people that are fans of that game. That's why. I mean, again, top 60 best rated, highly rated game of all time on Steam is quite the accolade. And it shows from the people that are in this that always wanted a Valhalla world with the system. and now they have it. So that's what brings people in, and then people that don't know play the game,
Yeah,
then love it even more.
like for me, it kind of feels like my innkeeping is kind of homegrown in VRChat. Like there's no external source or
that's
IP
great.
that connects to it. It's kind of just like an entirely homegrown, made in VRChat sort of thing. So I guess like it does make sense why I wouldn't be that known. Like, and plus my advertising for years was just word of mouth most of the time. Like it was always like friends of friends telling their friends like, hey, this guy does this. And then, you know, like they come visit and it's just like, oh, that's cool. And whatnot. Like
I had a B Club poster the first time I advertised myself, and people.
I did see the
got
B
to
Club
know me
does
through
that. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of like those kind of club worlds. Not really my kind of jive. So that's why I wouldn't really do an advertisement there for me personally. But that's cool if that works for you. You know, hey, getting more eyes on you is always a good thing. Usually, you know, advertisement is good.
I moved around.
So yeah,
I talked to people. I let them know about it because that is the best thing for me. People have asked me how were they able to find me. It's just taking my time and then move around, going to places I might not like. I'm not saying again, I think Blue did a good job, especially with B Club. Personally, I like 2.0. That will still always be my, you know, the best one out of his entire works of maps that he's done. But it was because of B Club, because of Dream, and many others that actually got me to really push myself even more when it comes to advertising myself. Because I can't spend like $500 to $1,000 on Twitter to reach engagements with the advertising ability it can. Because I want to use it for models. I want to use it on my regulars for my stuff too. You know, I wanna give them what they've given me, which is a life. This is my work. This is my business. I knew when I started, I wanted to make a business. I wanted to be fun, but I also wanted to make it a side hustle. So when I first started doing the stream, I was like, yeah, it's cool, but I wouldn't see any kind of monetary value. But then I'm like, I want to make a monetary value into it, but I also want to take care of the people that are, you know, good to me, or even the people that don't and they can't afford it. We have those people that give to help them out or stuff like, which is amazing. It's just a whole synergetic ecosystem. And it all just works out, and it's a beautiful thing. So you keep going and you keep grinding, and even if it might be tough to mentally, because you come into VRChat, not a lot of people are going to go in the middle of the day into VR. I don't like that. I like to go outside and spend the time in the sun. And then once it gets late, then I go into VR. And then I advertise myself. I go into bars and let people know about me. And then, funny story, when I was in the bar, like at the beginning, when this started, we had one person, I was talking about the story like I am with you, and they came in and they were listening in, and because I have Lit Live, which is an overlay for my streams, I noticed someone tipped $250 to me.
Ooh, that's a lot.
And yeah, no, the highest I've ever made was $800, like just on one night. I think just outside my streams. I've had ones that were like $1,200 in one night on my streams at one point.
Ooh, damn.
But that was the ye old days. Now it's a little bit more slower pace, which is fine. I have no problem with that. It's everyone has been giving me, helping out with what I do, and I can't think of enough. But still, doing things like that and having bartenders like tip like in real life, because you don't think they're gonna tip like that because it's a virtual space. Why would you, right? You're not getting actual alcohol. It's just virtual alcohol while you're talking to bartenders. But some of these bartenders are so good at what they're doing in a virtual space, they get tipped because they have it in their bio.
Yeah.
So whether it's Cash App, PayPal, and stuff like that, like I do. I have my Stream Elements tip thing, and then people can just tip me for whatever. And it works. So.
Oh yeah, I never thought about like setting up stuff for tipping. I mean, I technically have like a donate thing where you can donate it. It goes to like my business PayPal, but I don't have it like on my bio or anything. I just never got around to it, to be honest.
You just link it. There you go, magic.
So true. Oh man, I was so funny you mentioned how much. So you said the most you've most one-time donation was $1,200. You said
about in subs and stuff like that, not in tips. Tips was like 800.
I have you beat. And this is a very rare occasion.
Oh.
I received a $2,000 from one of my patrons during one of my sessions.
Wow.
Straight donation. And he was there in the instance with me. And I went up to him and I went, hey, listen, what's going on here? And he was like, no, Wildclaw, it's okay. I wanted to show my support. I've been working like full time these past like few months. I have a shit ton of money. Here you go. Here's $2,000. I was like, do you want to refund this? He's like, no, you keep it. I was like, all right, sure. So yeah, the most amount of money I've made is $2,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he is now a permanent,
That's
like
awesome.
he's like a permanent supporter on my list, basically. So because like $2,000 is like that's like paying your bills for a whole month or so. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Or 2 months even. Fucking hell.
I mean, my like, I think the most I've had from one individual tipping wise of all time was 5,100,
Ooh.
and that was within a year. And he's a good friend of mine. And
Yeah.
he's worked at Netflix and Epic Games and stuff. Like big guy, does a lot of cool stuff, and he always believed in what I do and helped me with my career and stuff like that. So the man's not like, struggling for money. He's very, very successful. But he told me how much he believes in what I do and what I've done for charities and done for people like yourself. And that's not tooting my own horn here either, but
Go
just
for it.
being able to help people with, an opportunity of a platform. I had a friend of mine who didn't have internet anymore, and he really wanted to stream so much. So I actually gave him my platform to have his own special day. And some people in the chat might know who that person is. He is a bird persona, and he's got a mouth on him, but he is amazing. He is a comedian, and he's also one of my good friends that, to be honest with you, he could probably be a manager if he kept going with what he does. So those are the types of things I want to do, and again, why I wanted to do this in the stream, not only because it makes me feel comfortable be able to share my experiences with your chat, but also it gives you that confidence to know is that people are out there. You just have to keep, clawing and doing your best, and eventually you get to a point where everything kind of just works out for you. And I see that in you. And again, believe me when I say this, is that I love your vibe. And like I said, I've been watching you for a very long time. And I don't watch your streams, but I've known you for a very long time. And I did like your content. I like how chill it was. It almost reminded me of kind of like a Bob Rossi kind of feel, because I always used to watch Bob Ross when I was a kid, when he was still alive, because I was born in '87. So when I was a baby, I would always listen to him, and I always loved that kind of stuff. So yours is kind of like that kind of thing where you, again, welcoming in yourself, and maybe getting a drink, or maybe you're here to, because you're coming from other worlds, from VRChat to stop in yours, almost like an isekai thing.
Oh yeah.
Because there's been animes like that. So things of that sort is really, really cool. And like I say, just keep doing what you're doing, and you've got already some amazing people in here. You've got a really cool mod. I really appreciate you. Keep doing a good job, and keep taking care of Wildclaw, okay? Because you are very, very awesome.
They are awesome.
Yeah.
They've been around since I started, actually, ironically. So
you get an endorsement from me for being
thank you, Mizaki, best moderator. Yeah, they've been.
I'll put that on my Google reviews, because I'm pretty big on Google reviews. I've got like a huge rate, because I used to travel a lot, so I'd have like people. I have a lot of pressure of people, like influence pressure, and I would always review stuff, and people would know all around the world the stuff that I go to. So that was my secret hidden celebrity status before I even did the Midnight Bar or anything like that. I used to just do Google reviews. So
yeah. For me, thank you by the way for saying you support me and stuff. Like I feel like for the longest time I never really focused on growth or trying to grow as a creator or grow as a streamer. I was just like doing my innkeeping weekly just for the community we have. Like our Discord's actually pretty active, which is really nice. Like we got people in voice chat all the time. It's great, and they're always coming to the innkeeping and stuff, so it's phenomenal. But I feel like I've always, like, in my back of my mind, I've always wanted to be able to monetize what I do, but it's always been like an inkling in the back of my head of like, I don't want this to be just about money, so that's why I've never tried it. But to be honest, I might start taking.
It doesn't hurt to be a little bit more than money.
Yeah, it would.
Just do baby steps.
Yeah, I would like to start making my way that way. It's really just like doing things such as like merch, maybe, because maybe someone will buy it, or trying to do more collabs. Trying to do more collabs, which actually one of the cool ideas I want to do for collabs is I wanted to invite people, like I wanted to invite like content creators or people to the innkeeping for a night to work there. But the thing is, we don't have like we don't like, if I had like functionality for like drinks and food and stuff, I would feel more confident like inviting a creator for a collab. But then it's also the fact that, like I said, it's a public instance, so that obviously comes with its issues. So it's one of those things where like,
Right.
do we want to maybe for like a collab night we do like a group only instance or a group plus instance or something like that?
Yeah.
And it depends on if they're streaming or if I'm, because I'll be streaming and I don't mind, but if they're streaming, then it's like, yeah. Like one of the things I was very fascinated with wanting to try and do is like reach out to maybe larger content creators and be like, hey, you can come into my innkeeping if you want, like not stream it or anything like that. You don't have to do any of that. Like if you just want to come here and vibe and chill, like you're more than welcome to. I wanted to be able to give that sort of space because, you know, maybe they can't do that because it's like maybe it's just not safe. And I was like, I just wanted to try and do something like that if I'm making any sense, because I freaking ramble crazily.
You just have to give, you know, again, baby steps, 100% of the shots you don't take, all those things. Just go bit by bit and see where that goes, because nothing's gonna happen if you don't do it.
Yeah.
Right. And even if that doesn't work, there's other opportunities for something else that maybe your community might like. Right. So luckily enough, the stuff that my community does works out pretty good, and even my Discord, it gets very, very active. I think the record was, I think in one channel was almost 32 people.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Just in one channel, and it was very hectic.
I couldn't imagine. I can imagine your channel that big.
We'll get a humble like 8 to 10 people, and that's fine enough. You know, everyone's playing games, everyone's having a good time, and that's also a place that people feel comfortable being in. And I have my team that also helps out, that, you know, because I'm usually busy, so I don't get really a chance to really look at my Discord unless, you know, something urgent happens. So I have my mods take over, because I get a lot of people that ping me, and I have in my rules, do not ping me, go to my staff, because they're bored, they'll have, you know, give them something. I got a lot, and that way they get a little bit of experience in case there's a unique development happening where it could be something never faced before, and then they need to work together, and they have their own channel for that they can discuss against one person, yada yada yada. And it just kind of works out. Fo was saying, I think I had just under 30 maximum one channel and server. It was a TF2 event. We have TF2 events almost every month, so heck, you want to come in one time and bring everyone together too, do like a collab between two Discords, there you go. You know, we've got some amazing people that play it. Some people are playing it today. So
I will say, on the advertising side of advertising, like your bartending and stuff, for me, that's the whole reason I kind of started doing YouTube, was because, like, if I could make these like highlights of my sessions and put them on YouTube, it's much more easier to watch like a highlight video than to watch a VOD. Then I could maybe reach more VOD, people. Yeah. And I've been recently, like as of recently, past couple months, I've been thinking about like, what are some ways I could like spice up my innkeeping? So I told you about the blind innkeeping session. That was one. I had this idea for an innkeeping session. Have you ever watched Germa before? Do you know who Germa is?
Oh, I mean, I get enough. I mean, at the point, who doesn't know who Germa is?
True.
I mean,
but
it's like Ludwig.
Yeah, exactly. But he did something. I think it was called like his dollhouse, or like whatever video that was, where the chat controlled him in like a dollhouse, like a big like studio wide like house. So basically, the chat could control like where he moved, right? So I had this idea where. What if I do that, but for the innkeeping at the Wanderer? So there's channel point options where chat can redeem, and they can tell me to walk one quadrant to the right, to the left, forward, backwards, open a door, close a door.
Okay.
So basically, I was going to do a session where I had like a third-person camera, and chat would basically be controlling me during an innkeeping session.
So it's almost like the I remember one that really started that whole thing was chat plays Pokemon.
Yeah, basically that, but instead of Pokemon, it's. You control the innkeeper and you tell him where to walk and stuff. Yeah. Now I haven't fully set that up yet, but that is an idea on the back of my mind. I also had another funny one where it's like I would just cut myself in half and just be the top half of my body during innkeeping, and I can only move around with play space.
Oh, okay.
Like with my hands.
Okay.
Yeah, really stupid ideas for like a video, like making like a clickbait YouTube video, like, oh, I sawed myself in half doing an innkeeping session. Yeah.
I saw this boat.
I saw this in half. Cuts the whole building in half. Yeah, like I was thinking about kind of that more on the side of YouTube, but at the same time, I think for the stream, I definitely need to improve some things like the stream graphics and transitions and maybe some extra stuff for chat to be able to do stuff. Because I think, I don't know about your sessions, but my stream is always first person. They see through my eyes. So like the way I perceive it is the chat and the stream are in my head. Like they're the voices in my head when I'm in keeping. So that's how I like tend to perceive that. Whereas right now they're in the camera, but under normal circumstances when I'm bartending, they'd be in my view so they can see what I can see basically. So I even had a concept for a stream mascot. You know how VTubers have mascots?
Okay.
I have a mascot idea.
This is my mascot.
What? Who? Huh?
This is my mascot. My OC is my mascot. People know who I am as a whole because I used to be a flesh tuber. People knew my face. I used to have a high quality camera and I would just play off on that. So it was something that I was just like, I'm just gonna, do it, whatever. And it was more of a joke, but then it kind of blew up, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll use my mascot and play as her, and because biologically I'm a guy. I don't care whatever you call me. I've enjoyed what I've done for this long, and but yeah, no things like that. Like when you talk to me like that is like a very you're giving interaction with your chat. And that's a great way to engage a lot more, because then people are like, "Ooh, what can happen next? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen with this part?" And that's the real cool thing about that. So that's actually kind of cool.
Well, when I said mascot, like, because I have like this avatar, but the thing is, my perception is a little bit weird with that because I've been using this kind of like avatar layout for the past since 2018. Basically. So when I first made my avatar was an MMD model, and I gave it brown hair, blue eyes, glasses, and then over the past couple years I've like reiterated on that, and that's how I came up with this form. So yeah, I guess like this could be like my mascot, my branding, because my branding would be wearing this outfit and then doing that. But when I was talking about mascot, I'm talking about like a little character, and I actually have one in the in the works. It's his name's Bendel.
Aww.
And he is he's going to be a personification of the little bag here on the logo. We already have like a little like one of my friends made a sketch for it, and I was going to 3D model it myself and have a little itty bitty mascot. So eventually, because I've been getting more into VTubing recently, like as of recently, because for the longest time never did VTubing. I never really considered myself a VTuber.
Yep.
But recently I've been getting a lot more into it, and I've been enjoying it. So that's why I wanted to kind of do those kind of things more.
Plushie?
So plushie, yes, exactly.
Yes.
If we get, I don't know if Fourth Wall has plushies. Maybe one day we'll get a commission from someone to make a plushie.
Yes, you can actually have plushies, pins, and stuff like that, but they're by request, and you have to have a certain amount of people.
Yeah, that's why. That's why.
Yeah. To want it.
Yeah, it's just like there are like ways you could probably grow and such, and like I would love to do the collabs more, but I think what I would need to focus more on is kind of improving the stream quality a bit more, and then improve the Wanderer itself a bit more for functionality and such. That way I can invite people for collabs to work there for a night, and then obviously doing the videos, because I do a monthly innkeeping highlight. So if you want to see what my innkeeping is like and you don't want to come to my sessions, go to my YouTube channel. I have innkeeping highlights there. It's in my about page on Twitch, so you can find it there. But like I do have things I want to do to grow, because like I said, for 6 years I've basically just been doing this for fun. I haven't really been looking to grow or anything. Yeah. But it would be nice to grow.
I mean, it's still fun for me.
I mean, it's still fun, but it's more so I didn't have the secondary monetary sort of incentive in my brain. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I could totally just flex on people, be like, hey, I've been doing this for 6 years weekly. I'm here. So, but obviously, and also,
hey, confidence is good.
Also, I am gonna maybe consider commissioning Mari if she has an open slot eventually. I don't know if she does male models though.
Oh, not for a long time.
Yeah, because I know she's probably busy.
For like a year
Yeah,
and a half, too.
that's the thing, yeah. Which is
Yeah.
like, it's okay. I mean, I got this one, so it just works, I guess, for the time being.
I have a friend who wants one from her too. So
I think
let them
everybody
know
wants
the
one
same
for her
thing,
at this
believe
point. She's
me,
so
let them
popular, yeah. He's doing like even like these big commissions
I'm
and
literally
stuff.
I'm literally like a walking advertisement board. It's like, is it possible to,
Can you-
request off Mari? It's like,
Can you tell her?
yeah, well,
What can you tell about? Oh my God. I'm not asking that of you. Since you mentioned it to me, I've been thinking about it because I follow her.
Cute,
So
though. I'm not gonna lie, that's cute.
yeah.
Timmy. Sorry.
I guess sorry. Yeah, no, but I get what you mean.
Yes.
And I might work towards more of that. So, but for now, I've just been kind of going my own lane, kind of just going slowly, and we'll get there. Because right now I'm kind of busy with a map project, and I would love to do map commissions eventually. If I can get a little better at it, making worlds for people, because I know how to do that and stuff. I know how to 3D model. But but we're talking about bartending, and it's like, yeah,
yes,
like
of course.
Like for me, I feel like I've got a pretty good thing going, but at the same time, it is kind of a ticking time bomb for the day that comes when I have to decide if I want to keep doing this in public instances with the amount of demand I'm getting, or if I want to maybe do it more like group plus or group only kind of thing, and if I want to put it behind a paywall or not. Because right now I can't do a paywall because no one's gonna do it, so it's like there's no point.
No.
I mean, I could,
So
but
you
like,
can always just do the merch, do a little bit.
yeah. Like, I want to
things, just
ease
like
into
a
it
little
instead
bit,
of
and
like
then-
locking it down. Because like I can deal with crazy people. I've done it for so long. It's just like you can read the signs. You can see when people are like
I worked
this.
in retail.
Yeah, it's
so
just
I
like,
dealt with crazy people in retail business too before.
yeah,
so
it's
believe me,
it's
I know
like
that feeling.
I don't get like, it's just like, okay, cool. You're gonna be weird or crazy, whatever. All right. Well, not weird. Like people can be weird, but I just mean like hot, like crazy, kind of like you're causing an issue kind of thing. Like maybe you're being a
I was
doo-doo.
crazy once.
They put me in a room.
I'm kidding.
Rubber band.
Rubber
Fucking, you know how many
band.
times my fucking patrons do that to me? Every time I say that, they always go in the room. And I'm just like,
Oh, you got another person on that one.
You're not the first one.
Yeah. What other So what other things you want to talk about too?
Ooh.
I know they probably got a couple other things too.
Got a couple other things. Let me look at my questions.
Yeah,
I went through
you
like
had,
most of the initial ones I've
yes.
written down, but I think we talked about the
Okay.
moderation stuff already. And we already mentioned that. I think we were talking about
Yes.
that. We talked about the moderation, and then I asked you about why you wanted to do bartending and stuff.
Of course.
So like for me, like I said, I want to go back on that point. For me, like I do know that my sessions feel kind of different to midnight sessions because it like this, like I said, it's an actual bar, whereas mine is much more just a public instance that utilizes the bar as like a catalyst for bringing people in. That's kind of why like I would honestly consider myself more an innkeeper than a bartender, because bartender,
the innkeeper can technically
it's
be if they own
both.
the place,
Like
they
it can
can
be
do all of
either
it.
or, right? But when I say innkeeper, it kind of makes kind of
solid.
more sense to have a good night, folks. When you go on the bed,
Yeah, Solid's going to sleep. He works early.
Oh yeah,
so
fair,
he
yeah.
goes to bed early.
But
Yeah.
like I would honestly brand myself more as an innkeeper than a bartender, just because I think it kind of it kind of defines what I do a little bit more differently. Because like I feel like I'm more so running an inn where it's like, not only are you doing drinks and serving stuff, but you also might be giving people room for the night. Because like the Wanderer does have private rooms, but I promise you they're not being used for anything crazy.
No, of course. You don't have to.
I do have them. People don't really
hate it,
use
but I
them
don't
that
despise
often,
them.
but I do have them. I actually, if I ever was gonna monetize the Wanderer in some way, I would probably make it to where either the private rooms are like you have to pay
Patreon
for,
would be
like
like a VIP
Patreon
thing.
supporter
Yeah.
kind of thing. Just so that like if you want your own little private space during innkeeping, boom, you can get yourself a nice little room. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's so true. Also, hi,
Yeah, early
Emic.
5 in the
Hello.
morning. Yeah.
I was saying hi to my friend Emic there.
Well, hello. Hi.
will-
You got your friends. I got mine.
Yeah, well, I mean, I go from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. I mean, we're obviously not going to keep going till 12 a.m. Obviously, I'm not going to keep it that long.
No, of course. We've got
but,
almost
like,
3 hours now.
I'm actually kind of surprised we went for this long. I was worried I wouldn't have too much to talk about, but
See?
yeah, crazy.
I always feel that way. Don't worry. And it makes you feel good. You're like, okay, this is actually really good times now.
Yeah, I was really
had a
nervous.
Good amount
I'm
of,
gonna be
you know,
honest.
footage.
I think before you told me you knew me,
Yeah,
I was very nervous. I was like, this is someone who has a following, who is big, who I'm very worried is going to think I'm a clout chaser. And we talked. I mean, me and you were talking about this before. Like, I was always worried about that whole like being perceived as a clout chaser, trying to like utilize your platform to grow and such. And that's why I didn't want to stream it. But I'm really glad you kind of convinced me otherwise. 'Cause this has been very fun, honestly. So Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very, very
no, I'm the
nice.
opposite. You need to help with stuff like that. I'm like how VCat does it. We love to provide people of a platform that gives them tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views. And that's something you should do for next VCat. You should definitely get yourself a booth
I was at VCat,
on VCat.
not last VCat,
yeah.
but I've been at VCat before, and I exhibited an avatar I made from scratch, and I also a booth that advertised the
Yes.
Wanderer. So yeah, I'm familiar.
Here's a tip. Here's a tip for you. And mods like Shadox, keep telling him and pestering about him. Get yourself a booth for next summer, okay? And then get yourself in, and then have your in a booth. Turn it into like an actual advertising thing of your in a smaller factor with your avatar, stuff like that, so people know you, and then put labels stuff. It's very easy to do it. Sorry, I know VCat right now is actually streaming right now. I was going to do a world hop with them in a little bit, but again, I don't mind because I work with them from time to time, and I just did a meeting like yesterday. But when it comes to like these interviews and stuff, you are my first person that actually is interviewing me. I have never had anyone. You are my first, so
Well, I'm very flattered. I don't. Yeah.
I was nervous. I didn't want to like be a bad like influence, or I might have said something wrong.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I always try and be a positive like influence to people. Always trying to do good. Why I do the charities a lot too. But also again, work with people like yourself that are looking to find ways to grow, and I have no problem with that. Well, I absolutely don't. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
Because I love helping smaller creators. So
yeah, I'm glad I took this.
Cloud chase all you want.
I'm glad I took this leap because, like I said, I wanted to do like a anniversary video for 6 years, just talk about my time bartending for all these years. And like I said, one of the points was gonna probably talk about Midnight, and then having this interview help clarify things about it. And I think it has done a pretty good job of clarifying some facts for me and such. So I'm very, very happy about that. Or if I don't get time to do it, I'll just cut this VOD up into a video and then post it. Like, here's my interview with MidnightInVahalla.
Yeah,
so there
please
you go.
do. I'll share that, because I know there's be some people that haven't that have not noticed that this is going on.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I mean, we was kind of spontaneous. I mean, I literally like only did like a post like 30 minutes. But yeah, like for anyone wondering, I originally wasn't gonna stream this, but then I think like an hour before we started, you were telling me about like you're okay with it, and I was like, you know what? Sure, let's guerrilla stream this. Let's guerrilla stream it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the best way to actually get yourself going, especially during a live like audience, right?
Oh yeah.
That's the best way to kill those scaredy vibes that you get, the nerves. Now look at you. Now you're flowing, and you're actually like comfortable, and you're feeling good about yourself, and I'm really happy because again, I was even nervous because this is my first interview, so
yeah, that's fair.
I'm very very happy to do this with you.
I know what you mean, because especially when you're trying to talk to like larger creators, like you feel very nervous at first, but even when I'm inkeeping and I meet someone that's a big creator, like I never feel nervous when I'm doing that, because I always treat everyone the same usually at inkeeping. I'm like, right now you are not a big creator, you are my patron, you are my that's what I call people that come to my inn, the patrons of the Wanderer. Of course, you are my patron. Yes, you're a cool guy or a cool gal. We can talk, we can chat. I never get too worried about numbers and such, but when I'm like outreaching to someone to want to talk to them about something, which this is the first time I've done something like this, and I would love to do something more like this eventually in the future, depending on, I'm trying to think of who it was I was gonna try and reach out to eventually, but I don't remember. But like doing more collab stuff essentially and whatnot, especially for like inkeeping and bartending. Well, bartending is kind of up in the air because it's like different VRChat worlds, and you don't really get the functionality. But at least with inkeeping, I can change the world to like fit, like to give it functionality and stuff, and do all that kind of jibber jabber. You know what I mean? Blah blah blah. So would love to do more collab like that in the future. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm trying to think of any other questions I have on top of my head, because I feel like the moment I end this, I'm gonna be like, oh, I should have asked that.
Maybe the chat might have some?
Okay, yeah, chat. You go ahead. If you have any questions you want me to ask them, or if you want to ask me, be sure to do it right now. Otherwise, I'm gonna flip the table for a second. Did you want to ask me anything about anything I've done?
Honestly, well, I mean, you've answered a lot of those questions that I had about like what made you want to do it and how long you've been doing it or I mean, someone that also has been an OG,
Hmm.
bartender, innkeeper, had that vibe for a while now. And those answers have already been given. So other than that, it's more so of just keep doing what you're doing, because it is showing. And I'm really thankful to do this like you doing this interview
Hmm.
with me, and it's been a pleasure. And by all means, if there's anything you need, or anything of that sort, like again, like if you need help with 2D model or
Hmm.
like a graphic, I do have people and connections I can help you with.
Oh, please do. I have been
So,
kind of looking into, like I said, maybe getting a graphic of the one you sent me for yourself. I want to get something like that,
of
maybe
course,
made for
yes,
myself, just so
that's
I can have
custom.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I would, if you can, like I
I'll
would
send you his
love,
card.
exactly. I would love to, because I have been commissioning people more recently, so it's been kind of on my mind about that. Um, and then
Of course.
if you have any, I know we probably already talked about it during the session, but if you did have any tips
Mhm.
you wanted to give me for trying to grow, then you could just DM it to me whenever you feel like it.
Don't give
So
up. There you go. Just don't give up.
exactly,
There are
don't sell
times
trade
where
secrets.
it's
Exactly, don't sell trade.
yeah, like I mean,
It's okay, I understand.
and one of the things why the Midnight Bar is what it is, and why people haven't gotten the drink system, is the magician never shows his tricks,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
And if you were to take this and give it to everyone else, then it would lose the luster and what makes the Midnight Bar special in the first place. That's why JML doesn't like to give it away.
Yeah, see, that's
Because what's the
why
point of this
if
world when
I
everyone
ever
has it?
made a drink system for the Wanderer, I was gonna try not to do the same thing as this. I was gonna make it unique, something that would like fit.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest, I actually watched. There's actually several YouTube videos of your bar on VRChat of like tutorials, and I found that so fascinating
Mm-hmm.
because you know that your map
Yeah.
has made it and has done well because there are people making tutorials on
Yeah.
how to open an instance or how to do the drink system. It's incredible. Yeah, so I would love to do my
I mean,
own eventually.
VRChat even like advertised my bar,
Ooh.
so that was a huge thing. Yeah, no, when it first came out, and that's how it really blew up, is when VRChat actually went in and mentioned about Valhalla and this, and then yeah, that's when it really started blowing up. But it just writes itself. Again,
Yeah.
people come in, they see it, then everyone starts referring to it and going to say, hey, you should check this bar. I had a friend of mine who I get my computer parts from. He used to he goes to my bar. He never knew I was the owner. I'm like, hey, it's me. I'm like, wait, you're Midnight? And I showed him, like, holy so friend of mine at a computer store, even them in my local town know. I even had a poster in Japan from VCat. I was actually in Akihabara on one of the pillars
Oh
for
yeah,
VCat Rail.
the VCat Live. Yeah,
So
VCat
even the,
Real. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And I was there with multiple of my friends and other ambassadors, and it was the first time ever that that's happened. I showed it to Mari, and then her parents started showing it to her town, so now I'm known in her town.
Amazing. Yeah. The
So,
This is I'll share a little bit of a tidbit about myself since you mentioned the VR chat showing off your bar. When I first made the
Yeah, of course.
Wanderer, because back then I think they still have it in some form, but a community spotlight tab. I don't think it's called that anymore.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
So
like
it's the trending
that.
tab.
Yeah,
pretty
back
much.
then it
It's
was
like a
called the community
trending with that,
spotlight,
yeah.
and I remember when I made the Wanderer, my goal, like one of the big things I always wanted, was to be on the community spotlight tab. So I would update and work on the world.
Yeah.
And after it's been so long at this point, I kind of just like, it's whatever. I'm doing my own thing, so I'm not gonna like stress out about not being on trending or not being community spotlight world. But maybe one day, who will get there? Who knows? Depending on how things turn out.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly pretty happy with where I'm at right now as as bartending, as innkeeping, as the world. There's still a lot of things I want to do with the world. I just have a lot of things kind of going on, with my current map project, and then let's just say I have some things
course.
happening in October that might change everything. But we'll see how it goes. And
We have a tight knit family in this community. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know Tunit. I actually found Tunit through Photasma
Yeah,
because I was talking to
Home
Photaz
Depot
about
community.
some work.
Mhm.
Yep. And then of course, just like again, you finding through Lelouch, and then other things as well.
We found Foe
And
through
so-
Lelouch. I don't think you found me through Lelouch.
Yeah, Lelouch, but I mean, I know that I heard your name in the grapevine during that time. Now
Probably.
that I'm starting to remember stuff, and then through a friend group coming into your and then enjoying it. Again, it's that amazing community that you have. So even if you don't do the streams anymore, you still have other ventures, and that's the best thing about being a streamer. is being able to find new people, and some of those people can actually give you outlets into business opportunities. And that's what happened with me with VCAT. If it wasn't for little Yui, who was she worked as VCAT-chan for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got me into it. If it wasn't for her, I would not be a VCAT ambassador. I would not be doing VCAT, and people know me through that too. So I am very indebted to her. I'm very grateful for her. And actually, I had one of my friends rate her because she was playing Halo. So
That's good. Yeah, no,
she's good.
I will be I'm always going to be grateful to the Midnight Bar and for its creation, because it is expanded upon the bartending scene, when beforehand it was basically non-existent. It was just me. Like, it was just me, and maybe like I personally don't know of any other communities.
You had the flag for a long time.
Yeah, I was like the only one that was like doing the weekly bartending in their own world and in other worlds. And I still think that might be kind of something that I feel like I'm unique about, is the fact that I go to other VRChat worlds for bartending. I don't just stick with like Midnight or whatever, or even my own world. Like, I do other bars as well.
Always go and vary yourself, because believe me, if you don't, then it burns you out. You don't want that.
So it's really nice to find out that there were all these different VRChat bartending communities popping up out of nowhere, when, like I said, I was the only one for so long. And like, in a way, it you might think like, oh, maybe I might feel a little jealous, but no, honestly, I'm pretty happy for it. Honestly, I'm actually very grateful that it's happening. It's like, I'm not the only one anymore. After all these years of trying to find other bartenders, now there's a bunch of them all over the place. Because I only found out about it because two of my patrons are actually people that bartended at places like Midnight in other communities, and they told me about it while doing my innkeeping session. They were like, yeah, Wildclaw, this is like how this works. They have like a bouncer, and they have all this. I was like, really? I was like, yeah, we pour drinks and we like talk to people.
And now you can tell them. Now you can tell them you actually got to.
And I got to talk to the person who owns it. Yeah, owner of the Midnight Bar. Exactly. And maybe one day I'll be I was gonna say crazy, as infamous as you, and people come up to me and want to interview me about being the innkeeper of the Wanderer. I'm still waiting for that.
You got this. You got this.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I will go ahead and say that we can stop there. I don't have any other questions. Can we get a photo for the thumbnail for the YouTube thing?
I was gonna ask, would you like that? Yeah.
Did you want to take the picture anywhere? I don't know where you want to take it. Can we get it with the sign in the back, maybe?
I can be here on the at the network. I can be here. It's up to you. I'm giving you the
okay.
I'm allowing you to have you.
All right, folks. Let me see if I can get a good. Can you go? Yeah, just go on the other side of the bar for a second. While I do this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Stand. Okay. Yeah. We'll do two versions. We'll do one where I'm like on this side of the bar and you're there, and then we'll do one where we're like side by side, basically, just so that we have some variety, because I don't know which one I'm gonna want to use. So, yeah, and I got the little thing in the background too. Look at that. Boop. Perfect.
It's so cute.
It is so cute.
I'm gonna get you another one.
Yeah. If you want to put drinks there, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We're gonna get the photo for the thumbnail, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here. So this is basically the end of the interview. So thank you guys for watching, everyone from Midnight's community. You guys have been a blast. I think I gained like 10 followers, which is phenomenal. That's never happened before. So thank you so much for the support. If you like my content, go subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, because I post innkeeping highlights there. But yeah, you do whatever pose you want to do, and I will go ahead and get the camera ready for a timer. I'm going to make sure I smile as well, so I don't look crazy.
Of course, here, let me also make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? I'm going to do the timer for 5 seconds.
Okay, go for it.
And whoop. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to get one where the camera's facing this way with you still behind the bar, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I didn't mean to grab that. I'm sorry. And you guys got to look at my back for a moment here.
We'll do our little last toast before the end. Yeah. Of course.
Wait a second. All right, so we'll kind of have you like in the frame here a little bit. Yeah, that's perfect. There you go. And then I'll do one more where we're like side by side, just in case I wanted one where we're like equal height and stuff. Sure. Could you look at the camera and smile, if that's okay? It's behind you.
Yeah. Sure.
Sorry.
Let me.
No, take your time. I'll move the drinks over here. There you go. And I'll squeeze it over here just to get you in the frame. And then I'll just do a little stupid pose. There you go. Nah, I'm joking. I'll just do this. Mari did a great job on your model. You got all those cool facial expressions. I don't do gestures very often, so I'm like, I've always been like very bad about doing gestures. Okay, I'm gonna just get one more where we're like side by side, just so we have like an equal one. So
Yeah.
could you come to the side of the bar? Yeah. I was about to say I can't come behind the bar,
Okay,
so
sure.
yeah, you stand on whichever side. It's okay.
course.
I'll put the apron on for this
Alright.
one. Let me keep smiling. I'm just being done. Be careful
I
where you
didn't
put
put
your
on my
hands at.
glasses,
Just be
that's
careful where you put
fine.
your.
There you go.
That's a crap. I was like, be your hand. Just like put your hand like around my neck. Just squeeze it. Just
Unless you're into that.
no. I already have enough trouble as it is. All right, are you ready? I'll do the time screenshot. So.
Yeah, go for it.
Perfect. All right, stay there for a second. I'm gonna back up the camera just a moment.
Oh, sure.
Because like when I do my YouTube thumbnails, I have a specific way I do it, so I just want to get a version of it that's like okay for the thumbnail. There we go. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Okay, perfect. All right, so we are done there. So thank you everybody for tuning into this spontaneous guerrilla interview. Please go check out Midnight at their stream. You want to plug your stream? I think I know what it is, but I just want to get it wrong.
Yeah, sure. Mondays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow I'll be doing a VRChat meetup for all my subscribers and fourth wall supporters. So again, thank you, Wildflow, for having me. It was a great interview.
Yeah.
I really that was a lot of fun.
I didn't have to pay for this too. That's the best part. Yeah, and for me, like I said, guys, you can check me out here on my Twitch channel. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. EST. I do bartending Wednesday in VRChat. Friday is innkeeping in VRChat, and then Monday is kind of just like a desktop games, like whatever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We are gonna tune out now and start talking about crazy stuff off stream, because that's weird things. So heck yeah, that's what we've been waiting for. All right, let me make sure I mute my mic real quick. All right, y'all have a good one.